surround sound recordings.
All right. What is going on, guys? What is going on? It's your boy, NEXX. We are back again with another podcast. This is NEXXTIME, guys. This is an interactive podcast. This is for the TI community. Okay, and today I have some special guests with me. Some very, very, very special guests. I want to shout out everybody, and I want to thank, before we get into the shout outs, man, I just want to thank everybody for being patient. You know, we definitely got some situations going on right now where some connection issues with my guests, but we're going to push through this thing. We're going to persevere. I am thankful to see you guys. Big shout out to Praise Jesus, M. Weber, Exposure in My Labs, Angie Pittman. Praise Jesus. Before we get into this right now, we're going to play a little clip, a special clip that was requested by my guy, Du Haas. Big shout out to him and Cyber Reconnaissance. Let's get into the clip, guys.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
That's weird.
And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away and foreign, but close at hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission. It means, finally, that government at all levels must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information outside the narrowest limits of national security. And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Free and independent. Oh my God. Thank you guys for getting through that, man. I know it's a lot of chitter chatter going on, man, but we're going to get through this thing. We're going to push through this thing, man. This is NEXXTIME, man. This is the podcast. This is for the TI community, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Man, today I have two guests, guys. I have two very special guests, as you guys can see. There's definitely some connection. We were experiencing some connection issues, and we're going to push through this thing. We got some valuable information. We got a lot of things that we need to discuss, a lot of things that we need to talk. Man, oh man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us on this Saturday evening. My special guest today is Du Haas and Cyber Reconnaissance. Cyber, how you doing today? Du, how you guys doing today? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Nexx.
Yeah. Man, dude, what is going on, my friend? How are you doing today, man? Cyber, how you guys doing today?
Good. Still, I get some electronic harassment, whatever. They've been hit. They do it more the more we report.
Okay. Okay, definitely, man. Big shout out to everybody tuning in with us today, man. Big shout out to Angie Pittman, exposing in my labs. Autumn, welcome to the podcast, man. We just getting it started. Let's go.
What up?
Man, so dude, it was very important that you wanted to play that clip for the start of this podcast that we are about to do right now, man. And if you guys can remember, Du Haas, this guy called in when we had a podcast with Louis Rowe, and we were talking about Targeted Individual Day, which will be August 29th, 2018, will be the first Targeted Individual Day. Du, can you explain to the people why it was so important for you to play that clip, and what meaning does it have, and what relevance does it have to what we're going through right now?
Yes. I'm gonna clearly state and say in a general conversation and as in terms of report to law enforcement and your government agencies, that's what they encourage the public to report suspicious activities or crime. And what we are doing here are that they're not trained for or knowledgeable about and never experienced any incidents. So therefore they are not nefarious, but they inform the public to inform the law enforcement and stuff of crimes or suspicious activity. So when we report these things, we're kind of catching some negative hitches. It's unnecessary, but it's kind of very professional conduct by some professional, some certain government entities, whatever, or just because there's certain people that don't accept it. It's not the government. I mean, it's just certain people don't accept it because they don't give enough time to research something. Automatically.
It's hard to understand you.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what? We're gonna move to the car. It's gonna be quiet in there, and because we can't. There's a lot of people in here, and since we don't have video anyways, at least
Okay.
go to the car.
Okay.
So
Definitely.
we'll stay on the phone when we go, though. But we're gonna be packing up as we talk.
Okay, definitely, man. We guys see you guys in the comment section. You guys rocking with us just now, checking in, tuning in to the Next Time podcast. We love you guys. This is a TI podcast. It's an interactive podcast, guys. It's for you. It's for the community. Okay. It's definitely for you, man. Where is everybody tuning in? Where is everybody watching us live from, man? I just want to know right now. Type it in right now. Where are you guys from? Big shout out to you. We got some things going on, man, but we're going to persevere through this thing, man. We're going to persevere through this thing, man. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep it going. And
You know, you do something.
What's up,
I was
Cyber?
saying, you know, you're doing something right when your computer stops working when you're trying to send something information out to the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, but the show must go on, Cyber. The show
right.
must go on, and we will not be stopped. We will persevere, man. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Big shout out to Eddie Morin. Big shout out San Diego, New York. I'm in New York too. And Weber, where you at, my G? Let's see here. Praise Jesus, Vancouver, Canada. Big shout out to Nashville, Tennessee. Man, big shout out to everybody checking us out. Man, Autumn, big shout out to you, man. We're experiencing some technical issues right now. You know it's about to get really real when these things happen, man. But we're gonna persevere and we're gonna push through. Big shout out to Toledo, Ohio. Man, real things happening in all of these places. Real things happening in all of these places. A lot of real things, man, and we about to talk about it right now. If you guys got any questions for Duhas or Cyber, man, hit us up and let us know right now. Long Island, big shout out to LI, Strong Island, New Zealand, big shout out to New Zealand, man. We are here. The Turtle Tribal Nation, welcome to the podcast. We lit. Yeah. We lit.
All right, so we're outside of McDonald's next, just so you know. This is the only place we could get service, and we still don't have screenshots. But can you hear us better out here?
Oh, yeah, I can see you. I can hear you clear. Oh, yeah, definitely. I can hear you clear.
I can't see you, or I can't see myself, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, if you can go on to a YouTube with another device, but I can see. Oh, God,
the cops just showed up next.
Really? Oh, this is perfect. We got it live on Next Time, guys. The cops are showing up. And then, you know what?
Fuck.
You know what? This is something that we need. This is something that we need to talk about, guys, because you know what? The cops are part of the targeting, guys. The cops are a part of the targeting. Man, are they harassing you guys? Are they gonna say anything to you?
No, I think they left. I think we're cool, but you know, of course they drive right by when we're on the phone.
Okay, definitely, man. Everybody, if you can hear Duhas and Cyber Reconnaissance, if you guys can hear them clear, type it in right now. Everybody's saying much better. Big shout out to my guy, the Badger Report. What is going on, man? Welcome to the podcast. Man, this is Next Time. This is Next Time. This is the best time. This is Next Time, man. We doing this live. Duhas, what is going on, my guy? Are you feeling okay? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I got a clip to play where presidential correspondents instructed me to send this information directly to the president.
Okay.
We got to get to hear this shit.
Right. So, dude, man, why don't you talk to the people for a little while, man, and just for a little bit, and just talk to them about who you are and, how you found out about your targeting, man.
I found out about my targeting and stuff. I come from a small town of Near East, South Carolina.
Okay.
And I've been working with the military through confidential matter, different. It's confidential or whatever.
Okay.
And been doing training and stuff to serve my country.
Okay.
My training all stopped in 2012. That was the end of it or whatever. They sent me home or whatever.
Okay.
Been home since, and then started seeing all this stuff going on, and it was brought to my attention. I was sitting in the field in the beach chair next to my family's property.
Okay.
And these people showed up and started doing all this shit. They said there's an army, and through covert methods of communicating with me. And they control the weather and all that stuff. We got videos and stuff of them changing the weather around and all that stuff with UAVs.
Okay.
I started receiving training by an expert field operative trainer. That's what he said he was. And through a training session that soldiers, you won't hear report anything about this kind of training.
Okay.
It's a 2-year training using the latest technology that I have at their disposal.
Okay.
And I started receiving training, and when I started seeing that some things that they're doing was killing people and causing a lot of problems with people's lives and stuff, I kind of, it's like the thought hit. I gotta go tell somebody something. I let somebody know something about this. Because it's violating soldiers' rules and stuff, and law of war. They're supposed to treat civilians humanely and stuff, and it's just a long list of stuff. It just wasn't right, and I walked away from all bribery. They bribed me with all kind of shit. They even made a F-16 fighter jet do a low flyover during one of my training sessions in my neighborhood.
Wow.
And they done all kind of shit. This is all happened in 2017. This is just recently passed.
Okay.
I trained for about 3 or 4 months or whatever, running enemy fire and all this stuff, and started reporting it, and then I started being hit with directed energy. As soon as I started reporting it, they started freaking out, and they started trying to figure out what to do. I can hear confusion going on amongst their ranks or something, and they're flipping out, and it's like, I don't know. There's like, what's wrong? And hear them saying, I don't know. And there's like, he's reporting all this. And they went and got a bunch of female soldiers or something that all come in the classroom, like over 50 of them. And they started trying to counter and block everything I was doing.
Okay. Okay, definitely. Definitely, man. The Badger Report has a question. He says, Haas, what was your MOS?
It was different things. It was through confidential shit. You worked in trained in certain areas, and they was trying to get me to go to Iraq and do some counterterrorism and all this stuff. And they got this microwave hearing hooked up to field agents, FBI with top secret clearance and all that stuff.
Okay.
They got people, some agents hooked up with this shit. And this is how they communicate with each other. Like when they come in and question people, you'll notice they'll kind of look a certain way or whatever. You can pay attention to it after you get used to this being done to you. I designed this little covert communications and the design in it, like the involuntary muscle movements and all that stuff, and like the hack on it and give it meaning and all that crap.
Okay.
Taught them to do covert communications with the UAVs and make them blink a certain way, almost like Morse code. I've been was going through all this training and stuff, and then as soon as I seen it was bad, I started reporting it and starting getting hit with it. By that time, they done told me their names. They done told me they're married. Like Lisa does the data science. She's got black hair. She's married. They see my neck body on the computer screen. It's stated over 50 female soldiers in a classroom instructed by Miss Goss or Soldier First Class or instructor Lori. Karen's Lori's supervisor. And it's white females. Most of them are females. Okay. There's some guys that's there. They have a superintendent on this campus where they're controlling all this shit from. You see the little shining things that's hanging in the sky, this aerial platform.
Okay.
And I'm controlling them from military campuses. The one that's doing all this to me, the one team, I can't say how many teams there are for sure. It's never good to speculate, but I know there are one team. Possibility of multiple. From the effects, it seems like they're in different stages on people. They go through in stages. You'll start hearing your ears ringing and all that stuff, and then you start hearing people laugh and all that stuff. Yeah. It begins with simple cold symptoms like your nose running and all this other stuff. Okay. And that's when they're creating viewable pathways, liable viewable pathways in your nervous system or whatever, and allowing them to hack into your neural monitoring. Okay. there's small business contracts and all that stuff that jump-started these programs on universities and campus to design the technology. Then they take them on a military campus somewhere in the joint operation using joint bases to deploy them in the air. I've watched the Air Force drop them off. Aircraft, fighter jets, and bombers. Bombers dropped out to dozens of them. It looked like little shining lights.
Wow.
F-16 fighter jet dropped 2 off. It was blinking red, so they connected the same elevation as the rest of them, and then it held solid color.
Okay. Definitely.
This was on December 2017, the 14th and the 18th, about 10 p.m. If you ask this information through a Freedom of Information Act, through an information officer, operations officer, whatever, where you get the information from. Yeah, through a FOIA request. It'll kick back as long as you don't ask about names and all that stuff towards personnel and staff. Because I don't. Yeah. And you can see that the flights and stuff are logged. Flying over during the times I'm stating all this is confirmable information. I've filed reports and complaints to FAA, FCC. I've talked with the FBI. I've got recordings, and I got a recording here that you might want to listen to. I'm going to go ahead and play that.
Okay. Definitely. Before you play that, though, big shout out to everybody that's tuning in with us live. Big shout out to Kim Morrell, my guy Kevin Meredith, man. Welcome to the stream, guys. We love you. We're going to get it going. You lit. All right,
is it okay to play?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead. Let's get it going. We're about to play some information, guys. Pay attention. This is groundbreaking right here.
I called each and every federal local law enforcement and governing agency in the United States, reported to each one, starting with from the bottom all the way up.
Okay.
Eventually, I didn't get no results out of it, and I was giving them very detailed information. It wasn't hearing nothing back, so this is eventually what come out.
Okay, definitely.
I'd like to report violations of a Special Operations Forces member, Joshua Pierce, and his team. Erie, South Carolina.
Okay, and have you reported that to your local authorities?
Yes, I've reported it to every local federal authority I can think of.
Okay, then have they acted on it yet?
No one has done anything, and I thought this was a federal office to want to check this out.
Okay, what you need to do, sir, is put that in writing so that you can document the time, the day, and the people involved.
Okay, I've got everything wrote down.
Okay, let's recommend your correspondent so you can send that information to the president.
Okay, what?
Calling the White House. Did you reach President Trump or submit a new request for a presidential list?
All right, that's recording on talking to the White House. I was just talking about the White House to get this information out. And said if I didn't have the videos and all that shit logged, then the people wouldn't believe it. So I started taking videos of the L platforms doing all this shit and logging all this evidence, names, dates, and all the information I got. Narrowed it down to they're on a military campus.
Okay.
The instructor stepped forth to the mic to where I can hear them through this technology. And she said something if I step foot on campus and that I'm arrested. But they're doing all these crimes and stuff and trying to hide it. She stepped forward and said we are now phase 1. This, pretty much is trying to avoid. They try not to get caught.
Because it's treason on U.S. soil. Let me repeat that. It's treason. Human trafficking victims is what they're making targeted individuals, which makes us modern-day slaves. This is modern-day slavery, and it's treason on U.S. soil. And there are agencies inside the U.S. that specifically go after treason done by domestic terrorists, right? And so the military and the local law enforcement is complicit in this. And they are the ones committing the treason on U.S. soil.
Law enforcement, there's a lot of good officers out there. I know some of you are listening. Some of you federal agents may be listening. I'm just saying, honestly, I appreciate y'all doing what you do to serve and stuff like that, but this is a situation you've never had to encounter before. So you're in the dark about things. And what we're doing here on this podcast is shedding light. So that way something can be done. You can receive equipment or something from your grants that I know you receive for your fundings to deal with this type of crime.
That is a whole fact. That is a fact, man. You guys are coming in crystal clear now. I'm so happy we came to this point. We coming in crystal clear, okay? You guys look great. You sound amazing. This is going to be a great podcast, guys. I want to give a big shout out to Thomas Berry. Man, everybody that's tuning in live, welcome to the podcast. We are just getting it going, guys. Let's go. We lit.
All right.
We lit.
Hey.
All right, man. So
I'll light up my J on that note.
Man, all right. So, guys, I just want to talk about a few things. You know, we just to get we're gonna get this information out here, guys. We're gonna talk about what is going on, what you guys need to hear. As far as the technical aspect of the targeting, and these guys have amazing information. If you guys have any questions for them, man, light up the comment section right now. Light that comment section up right now. Do not hesitate.
Nexx.
Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. Man, so dude, how did you find yourself? You know what? Before I even get into that, man, at what point did you figure out that you were a targeted individual, man? At what stage in your life did you figure this out?
I just noticed like all these kind of ordeals going on. It's kind of hard to explain. The quality of life in my neighborhood was reduced, and some reason it was just bad and stuff, and I felt the reason I had to leave.
Okay.
And I left and was intercepted and detained. These people thought I was going to an airport to leave the United States, and I was held and detained for about 4 months, denied a lawyer and all that.
Okay.
I slipped a lawyer out and got it to my lawyer. She freaked out to come bail me out. Some dude with top secret clearance, FBI counterterrorism special task force. He slid some papers across the desk. His name was Thomas, Tommy or Thomas. Okay. I remember TOMM or something like that on his FBI badge, and he had top secret clearance. Okay. Well, I'm wondering, I'm being held on account of supposable traffic tickets I didn't get charged with. Okay. And they didn't even mention why I got pulled over in the first place. I was going to a buddy's house in North Carolina in 2016 when this happened. Okay. Before I got pulled over, I looked up and I seen what it looked like appeared a predator drone flying over the right of the valley of the mountains I was driving through, and then instantly blue lights hit me, and I was held, and they said something. The dude, he threatened to put me somewhere for 15 years. Well, I didn't get to see sunlight and 8-foot thick walls, and I only got to come out of my cell once a week if I didn't talk to him. Okay. All I did was tell him a little bit about some training I had went through with the military, and that was it. Well, he told me some things about Special Operations Command. On the paper, it had AFSOC wrote on it. So some of this, he told me some things about Special Operations Command and something about me being on radar. And I'm like, okay, I'm a regular dude just walking around minding my own fucking business. I'm home sitting in a fucking beach chair. Okay. I really don't understand all this. So I sit in the beach chair a little bit waiting, kind of trying to figure out exactly why someone with top secret clearance has got to go check shit out about me. But since he said Special Operations Command and then something about radar, this is straight something that's like created and sold to SOCOM, I guess. They test the valuable data collection for research, and they're going to sell it to them. Okay. I'm not sure. It's not good to speculate, so don't jump off believing that last part about going to SOCOM. We're in the middle of it's narrowed down to a campus. Okay. That's where we got it narrowed down to. Okay. Man, we got some amazing questions here for you, dude. Cyber, we're going to get to you, man, but we got an amazing question here for Du from Exposing MI Labs.
It says, can he elaborate on the technology they were using to kill people and ruin lives? And why does he think he was put in this program?
I can't really say why I was put in this program because I'm just a regular Joe that jumped up and volunteered to serve my country. I didn't want no money or anything. I just wanted to do it. It was the right thing to do. I felt compelled to do it. Okay. It's something I continue to do in my hobby. If I see something wrong that's on the news where I think people are being stupid and they need to know something about it, I'm not afraid to jump up and call them and tell them about it.
Right.
I mean, it's as you see in the JFK video, he said he was asking for help, and they had full confidence in the American people when they are fully informed to make great things happen and change and make corrections where there's mistakes or whatever is going on in the government. And he believed that us being fully informed was a great step and to making what you call it, addressing each and every situation accordingly.
Okay. Definitely, man. Big shout out to everybody tuning in. That was amazing. My boy Kevin Meredith has a question for Du Haas. He says, are they trying to tap into some powers that TIs may have?
Right now they're exploiting, they're using us and exploiting us. They weren't happy with testing on animals and stuff, and some of these things I had been read into. And so they wanted to start human trials, high-risk, high-payout programs. I talked to somebody, and I can't disclose agency name or nothing like that, but this person said it sounded like a program when I told them what was happening.
Okay.
Kind of like what the Nazis did to the Jews in the concentration camps when they did human experimentation. Doesn't it sound similar?
And the person that told me this, I trust them. They just straight up come out, so I'm not identifying anything in that area. Any formal letters or anything I got saying I can't say something, I'm not saying it. I mean, because it's legal. If I receive a formality, a form of papers, not just some covert come up and force you into to do this, be involved bullshit. I mean, okay. No. These people actually sent me formalities saying I cannot. I received like a $300 fine if I used it. It was professional use only.
Okay.
Some things I received in the mail. So I can't really talk about the materials on that, but other things I can, because these people that come up, they was unauthorized to do what they done, and started disseminating the technology and all that stuff to me and showing me all its capabilities, bribing me with everything, like the weather modifications. I could walk down the street, order it to rain, and it would, and they could cut it off in 30 seconds. If they made it rain unscheduled, the only thing alert it would go off is the car radio emergency flash flood warnings or whatever. That would go off after the rain went off if they done it unscheduled.
All right, man. That is, man, there you guys have it, man. If you got any more questions for Du Haas, man, all you got to do is type it in, or you can actually call us up right now. You can call us up live, man, and we will patch you in with Du Haas right now, guys. Definitely, man. Cyber, what's going on with you, Cyber?
Just a little shaken up about yesterday.
Yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it, man. Guys, we were on a conference call with my guy Frank, man. If you don't know, they do TI conference calls, guys. I'm going to actually do a video about this tomorrow. But we were on a conference call, man, and we were conversing. All the TIs were sharing their testimonies. And, I got a hold of Cyber and said, man, you should call into this call. And Cyber, you want to tell us what happened after that?
Yeah, so one of your callers asked where we were at in California and actually gave her the town we were in. And then, I forget why we drove off. But we drove off to go sit somewhere and talk on the conference call, and it was on the beach. Well, I've been posting videos about, trying to explain to people that the end result of being a target individual will be suicide, right? So I'm kind of, I'm over the top. I am, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to get my effing point across. And I'm sorry if I crack a few eggs, make it an omelet, all right? So I'm also running semi-psych psychological operations on these guys. So I know you guys, you think I'm crazy, you hear me in the videos. That's not directed at anybody but the people doing this to us, because they're human beings that need to think about what they're doing to other human beings and how God does punish people, especially people that turn other people into slaves. I think that's probably one of the worst things you do, probably worse than murder even. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's just an outlet to, anyway, so I made those videos.
Right.
And I have been on the police's radar for a couple months because, listen to this, and this is what I told the cop, and I know you heard this next. My sister got married in March. She invited my ex-husband, his new wife, and my daughter to her wedding, and I'm her damn sister because of the TI targeting thing. She hasn't spoken to me since I became a TI.
Okay.
She thinks that I'm this drug addict, idiot, you know, lunatic, right?
Right.
Because I was been a TI, you know. When you first become a TI, you don't understand what's going on to you, and, and it makes your family not want to be around you, basically, and think you're freaking crazy, right?
Right.
So, anyways, long story short, I stopped talking to my mother because my mother insisted on flying them when it was storming, because it was storming in South Carolina, where my sister lives. And there was a big snowstorm and all the planes got canceled. So my ex and my daughter didn't get to go to the wedding, right?
Right.
And so I was pissed off at my mother because she was willing to spend like thousands of dollars and get him to fly all over the nation just to get him to South Carolina over the storm.
Okay.
You know, and she wouldn't even invite me, and I was her daughter.
Okay.
So I quit talking to my mom. So my mom put a missing persons report because she's under severe mind control.
Okay.
This woman has written letters to judges about me, trying to make it seem like I have some kind of mental disorder, borderline personality disorder is what I had to go through psych evaluations for because my mother wrote an email. So they mind control your family around you, you guys. You've got to understand that. They implant thoughts with B2K.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they get your family to not like you anymore and isolate you so they can work on you even more, right? With the human experimentation and doing all the things that happen like to Nexx, right? You just keep going up levels.
Right. Let's go.
So,
that's what we do.
That's right.
That's what we
Next
do.
level.
That's right.
Anyways, so
Hey,
these cops have...
Cyber, can you turn the camera a little bit over towards you so we can see you?
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better. Thank you. That's a lot better. Thank you.
I can't see anything. I have a black screen. Sorry.
We got you. I got you, Cy.
So, anyways, so we, long story short, my mother's had a missing persons report out on me. I was arrested in Ventura County and put in a mental hospital for saying I was a target individual for 5 days. Got a parasite, and then they released me when they gave me a damn parasite. Took me 3 weeks to get rid of that. Then we get pulled over up here. And they said, oh, there's a missing persons report out on you. Well, they went already one time to my friend's house when I was going to take a shower. Same thing they did to William Benny. They pulled him out of the shower. Remember that?
They did that.
Have you ever heard that? They did that to William Benny when they arrested him.
Yeah.
They said they were about to do that to me. But I ran and I took off in my car. It's because I didn't want to deal with the cops because every time I'm around them, they arrest me.
Okay.
So yesterday... they showed up when we were on that conference call.
Live on the conference call, guys. Shout out to everybody who was on that conference call with us, man. Everybody was praying for you, Cyber. We were praying like prayer warriors.
It was crazy. And then they pulled Dew out of the car, and he's getting hit with directed energy weapons so fucking badly. His whole body's shaking, and they're thinking he's on heroin. They were trying to get the cops to arrest him for heroin.
I was trying not to say anything to the officers. Those are so far in the dark that they might not understand it. Some may cast misjudgment, instantly try to label or something. You gotta deliver this to certain people or whatever that's open-minded, and they actually gather their own information.
We already have satellites on us too. We're outside right now, and look, dude, there's a satellite on us. See it?
Yeah, they follow. The whole network follows me.
Follows us? What are you talking about? We have so many satellites on us. It looks like we're in the fucking galaxy, the Milky Way. There are so many satellites, and if you know what, you guys, it's a clear night. Maybe we can actually show you what they look like.
You can see on duhas890717 at gmail.com.
His email is in the description right now.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to try and go outside because I can't see anything with my camera, and I'm going to try and face my camera towards the satellite so you can see what they look like, you guys.
Okay, definitely. Live on NEXXTIME, guys. We are going to take a peek at these satellites.
Okay, do you see that right there? Do you see that satellite? It looks like a star. Do you see it up there in the sky? Can you see it, Nexx?
I see something.
That's it. It just looks like a star, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. There's one. And now I'm going to turn it around. See the other one above the tree?
Yes, I do see it.
See, they're following us. They follow us around, and they fuck with our internet connection, and they screw with us personally, and they'll get the cops here eventually.
Man, oh man.
So now do you see the satellites, you guys? This is what's fucking with you at your house. Those satellites I just showed you. Those are the things that are able to remote monitor you to send voice to skull. We need to get those motherfucking things out of the airspace.
That is.
I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on getting them down. Just give me time. We're coming up with actual like weapons to fight back.
She's heating up, guys.
She's heating up.
All right.
I got the answer to the victims' questions in emails and private emails and stuff. I ain't got that phone on right now, but I'm gonna answer your questions as to what tests you can do to detect the abnormalities. It's a specific forensic analysis series of specific tests. If you don't do this right, then you're not going to detect nothing.
Okay.
The matter that is in people's bodies is got a resonant frequency, and it's organic, and it's remotely controlled.
Okay.
For the involuntary muscle movements, you do the electromyography, EMG, electromyograph. Use it to detect abnormalities and electrical activities in the human muscle movements. Same as spark from the brain to part of the body hacked. Let's see, human on a chip, detect things that's in your body like bioengineered shit. Microphysiological systems program. These are shit that's off DARPA. They've got universities, they've got places that's developing all this shit. They've got the equipment, what we need to use. And as law enforcement and stuff, we made appropriate reports to them, detailed information. FBI agent told me, a female told me, it's a matter of a weight game. So we got to revoke their security clearance.
Okay.
Enough identifiable information revokes their security clearance and leaves them open for law enforcement.
Okay. Definitely, man. We got a quick question about those satellites, man. I have a question here. It says, do they have blinking green and blue light, sometimes red?
Yes, they can change color.
Okay, definitely. Someone also had a comment that said, could it be drones? Could it possibly be drones too?
They call them aerial platforms.
Okay. Definitely.
That aerial platforms covers drones, UAVs. That covers satellites, all that. So that's what they call them, is aerial platforms. So it's talking about a new team that's formed using this shit.
Yeah. Man, oh man, that is crazy, man. Guys, if you are just tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, man. We are just getting heated up, man. They got my guy, Du Haas, and Cyber Reconnaissance. Man, dude, so what kind of, what your experience now, as far as the targeting is concerned, right?
Yeah.
How has that transformed things in your life, man? Like, before you started noticing to right now? As we speak.
The way it transformed my life, it affects income. Financial disruption was one of their main things. As you can see on duhaas890717 I'm showing me trying to file tax return, college grants, and they're denying my federally protected, and that's what the federal government, they grant college grants and stuff like that, and I'm trying to fill it out. I put the touch screen data on, so wherever I touched on the screen would show up, and you see the keys that I'm typing, it will not type.
Okay.
So any touchscreen phones can be fully manipulated.
You hear that, guys? These smartphones ain't loyal, guys. These smartphones ain't loyal, man. Big shout out to everybody tuning in with us live. Don't forget, guys, this is an interactive podcast, man. If you got any questions or you just want to call us up and give a shout out to whoever you want to, this platform is for you to do that. The NEXXTIME podcast, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's be great, guys. Let's be great. Man, dude, is Cyber still there?
Yeah, I just walked in.
Okay, Cyber. So you got harassed by the cops last night, and while you were on the conference call, and what did the cops say to you? They said something about
what?
They said something about your YouTube channel, right? They just came out of the blue.
Oh,
and
right.
Said something about it, right?
About it being popular.
Yeah. Well, like how did that go down? Could you just give us a example?
He goes, I know you. He acted like I was a damn movie star. It was weird.
Okay.
He was really nice to me, actually. The cop was actually really cool. They were not nice to do for no reason.
Okay.
And anyways, it was like he was more like he had been starstruck, which was so funny because he had seen me on YouTube.
Okay.
Law enforcement is watching too.
Definitely.
But
man.
the fact that I was on the conference call and that they showed up while we were still on the phone makes me think it was a setup. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not the first time I've ever been set up, mind you.
You want to talk
At
about
all.
that? You want to talk about that, Cyber? Turn the camera over a little bit. Turn it over to you.
I've been set up. I was set up and framed for Grand Theft Auto in 2015.
Okay.
I was rohypnoled at a barbecue with my daughter there and woke up on the county jail floor in 2016. And then 2017, I told them I was a human trafficking victim. And all that happened was they told me I was crazy and put me at the human trafficking task force. Listen, you guys, Ventura County. I was in Ventura County. And I'm actually kind of testing the waters with these stupid idiots, right?
Okay.
So I tell them I'm a human trafficking victim. They send Ventura County Sheriff's human trafficking task force out, and he 5150s me. Tell me that's not complicity. That's being complicit. Because if you and they handcuffed me for 8 hours in a hospital. I had to sleep in a chair, a metal chair, while they handcuffed. After I told him I was a human trafficking victim. That's a crime against humanity. That's treason what they did to me.
Yes.
Detained for 5 fucking days. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still very upset about that.
Wow, man. I am so sorry to hear that, man. Has anybody ever gone through anything like that, man? Put it in the comment section right now if you guys can relate to Cyber, Reconnaissance, and Du Haas. We just want to thank you guys for joining us today, man. Things is about to get really, really real, man. We got a lot of things that we need to talk about, and we are going to talk about it here, man. So we got a question for Cyber Reconnaissance. Cyber, where were you born, Cyber? You want to talk a little bit about that and your upbringing?
Sure. I was born in Fort Hood, Texas, at the Army base.
Okay. You want to tilt the camera a little bit towards you a little bit?
Oh, sorry. My mother was an officer, an Army officer. My father was he was just a private. They had me. My mom became a naval intelligence officer, even though she denies that she is. She said she worked at the hospital. She did work at the hospital, but she was naval intelligence because she went to Naval War College. Only naval intelligence goes to War College.
Okay.
So she was civilian service for them for over 10 years. So I grew up in Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, Texas.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Then I moved to California in 2005.
All right, good deal, man. Sandra Kennedy, welcome to the podcast. We see you, man. Thank you for joining us live. All right, man. You guys are just now tuning in. This is the NEXXTIME podcast. I am your host, NEXX Next Level, man. We are getting to it with my guy, Du Haas and Cyber Reconnaissance. So, Cyber, how has this program affected you in your life, just affected your quality of life and living? Like, what are some of the transitions? Okay, so
I used to work for Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
I used to be married, had my own home, 2 kids, 2 dogs, 2 new cars. I worked at Lockheed Martin. I was the operations manager of their security department. Okay. So I had some really interesting info that I'm not allowed to discuss. And basically, when I became a TI, I wouldn't sleep with my boss at Lockheed, and I think that's what threw me in the program. I don't know 100%.
Okay.
And our house was getting hit with directed energy weapons, and because my husband and I were fighting constantly, and the people that we purchased the house from got divorced. That's why they sold us the house. They had a daughter the same age as us and ours, and everything was really odd. And then so we bought that house. We got a good deal on it. He still owns it. When we got divorced, I lost everything. I lost my kids, my dog, my house, my car, my ex-husband. And I was sent another TI. You know how they put people in your life, right?
Okay, definitely.
And he actually were really good together for a while. He was a software engineer. He worked at Google. But when we whistle blew to the FBI, we lost everything again. So I went down. Now I'm homeless. I'm living in my Jeep, which I'm 2 months behind on the payment. Sorry, Jeep. I'm trying. I have due with me now because I went and got his ass because we're going to expose this shit or die trying.
Wow. This program has completely got a grip on cyber, guys. Man, oh man, she is going through some things right now. And guys, she also has a GoFundMe account right now, man. She needs our help, guys. If you can help at all, just a little bit, donate to a fellow TI who is homeless, nowhere to go, no money, no food, no nothing, guys. There's a GoFundMe account right now, a GoFundMe campaign going on right now. It's a link in the description, guys. If you can help at all, man, it would be definitely greatly appreciated. Man, so let's see here, man. My boy Kevin Meredith has a question for Du Haas. Dude, we got a question for you. All right.
Go ahead, shoot.
Is the electrical current of TI's bloodline related or coming from the outside?
Is the bloodline connected? I don't think it has anything to do with a bloodline because somebody in a special place told me it sounded like a program. I can't identify who it was or anything in that area. But they said it was a program, and then their position, I believe them.
Okay.
Y'all heard me talk to people at the White House, so that's good enough for me to say.
Okay.
That's all I can legally say.
Okay, definitely, man. If you guys are just now tuning in, things are getting heated up. Man, dude, how is this, how has this targeting affected your quality of living, bro? Like, what is your situation right now? Explain to the
He's the same boat as me. He's my brother, man.
Explain to the people your situation, dude.
I was in South Carolina. I could only work for about 2 or 3 months at a time, and then I'd have to take breaks from employments for something. Working regular civilian, regular Joe guy work. Just being a manufacturer, working at BMW. I'm an employee at BMW. I'm still employed through American Security. And I work in the seasonal work, so that way I can take time off of my hobby to actually carry through with what we're doing today.
Okay.
Been working on this for years, man, and finally we're getting something kicked off. It's great. We look forward to doing like JFK said, and it's our job to inform and alert the American people.
Okay. And
we believe they can make very good decisions when they're fully informed.
Okay.
Correct.
And the quality of the life and stuff has been affected variously. Sometimes things great, and sometimes the attacks are severe. It's actually sent me home to the hospital from work. I've had to leave BMW. They put some special UAV lights to my eyes and seen this stuff moving around in my eyeballs.
Wow. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, the medical team on BMW plant, which this is a foreign trade zone, they're attacking foreign trade zone workers, and like them using surveillance of me on a corporate entity's property in a foreign trade zone. That's corporate espionage. I mean,
that's what I whistle blew to the FBI about was cyber espionage, because they were sending Americans data to Bangalore, India. Coupons.com. Don't use them, guys.
Once again, they're doing that shit with Germans. And because on the signs it says no recording or anything, so they're surveillancing and recording me 24/7 as I'm walking through these places where it is unauthorized for them to use that, and it says that it cannot use these recording devices or any kind of surveillance equipment during the walking through some of these parts of the plant.
Okay. Definitely, man. You guys are tuning in, and you guys are rocking it. Cyber, I just want to make sure that you do have a power source, right? Everything is plugged in, and we are good to go, right?
You know what? I do have a power source. I need to turn off my Bluetooth before I'd have to, I need to mess with my phone, basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well,
so,
we got a
I'll do it in a minute. When I say I'll have low power, I'll fix all that. I just,
okay.
I'm trying to just let it run as long as I can.
Okay, definitely, because we have...
You know, remember I showed you those satellites that look like stars, you guys?
Yeah.
There's more showing up. I see more coming.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
There's a second one down there. It's just a little bit darker. It's not as bright. So they come in different variants of shades of whiteness.
Wow.
So they look like stars maybe that are farther away or closer, but they're way too close.
Okay, definitely, man. My guy M.W. Weber, M. Weber says, try getting hit with remote surgery. That is the scariest I've ever had done to me. Man, do you know
intuitive surgical out of Sunnyvale? Yeah, so intuitive surgical out of Sunnyvale, California does that. It actually does. They do remote. They can do remote lobotomies now, you guys.
Yeah, and this is part of the valuable data collection for research they're wanting to test on us. They're collecting this valuable data test on human beings by indirect covert methods. And they're trying not to get caught.
Wow.
I heard one of them step near the mic, and she said, do you want the entire team to get caught? And one of the girls said no. And the one that said no, she was having problems with what she's seen them do.
Man, that is interesting. Man. I'm gonna just leave the floor clear right now. I'm gonna ask you guys, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Anything that's on your mind that you want to share with the people before we get into some more questions?
We covered the part about tests, how to detect abnormalities in your body. You got to go to these universities and just talk with them.
Can I say something? Look, you guys, I have some people that are biotechnical and neuroscientists that are just not awakened yet. And I'm trying to slowly awaken them. So it's a slow process because they're very technical people. They are willing to help, and they're in Silicon Valley. But I have to have the right person come with me to wake them up. And unfortunately, it's going to take somebody with notoriety for them to. But I have teams, and once I get these teams in place, I have something that is going to be able to, a team is going to be able to counter everything that they're doing. I have 25 departments I'm working on, you guys. Okay? As soon as I get funding, I'm going to freaking open up a corporation and start working on reverse engineering their stuff and taking them down. And corporations can pay me to make sure they're not monitored.
Okay, definitely.
That's what I do for a living, is I run security companies, you guys.
Definitely.
Well, that's why I'm probably targeted. Hello.
Man. So, Cyber, when did you notice that, around what time did you notice things started getting a little spooky for you as far as this targeting is concerned? And what was the
when I left my husband, because they couldn't touch me when I was with my husband, because my husband, he was very controlling, so he controlled pretty much my whole life. And so they knew that they had to get me away from him to put me in the program, and they did it. But I do think it's weird because Lockheed Martin, to get security clearances, you have to get your birth certificates and all this stuff to them. I do think it's odd that I was offered the job I was, at the clearance I was, for the experience I had, because I'm an accountant by trade and I have a business computer information systems degree, right? So I have a tech degree. And so I have an accounting degree and a tech degree. So I thought it was odd that they wanted me to run a whole security company. But I know that that he doesn't think. I think certain people are targeted since birth, and it does have to do with bloodline, and I think it has to do with the Christ lineage.
Right.
Because I personally believe that our belief in Christ is incorrect, and I think he had children, and I think his lineage lives on today, and I think those are the people that are also being targeted amongst others. Okay. Some people are random experimentees, but some people are the lineage of Christ, and we need to wake up and realize that Christ lived on in children, and we are his lineage, and we are the 12 tribes of Judah they're coming after. You understand what I'm saying? If we start looking at religion a little bit differently and stop believing what man wrote in a Bible that was translated by somebody else, not us, why do we believe that what they said was true? When all they wanted to do back then was to control the population because they were monarchs and they were one person in control of millions. So don't tell me that they wouldn't put stuff in there and change stuff around, and then we just take that verbatim. You know what I'm saying?
Cyber, what
people don't think about those things.
What was the first symptoms that you started to notice that made you even question, like, okay, something is going on here, like something is not
Getting
right?
Getting arrested was the first thing.
It was consistent for you?
It was just getting arrested. I mean, I never had gotten in trouble before in my life. I was a notary public. I could sign contracts for corporations.
Okay, dude.
I signed off on contracts and shit like that. So they took I got fired from my job. That's how I knew I was in it. I got fired from my job. I ended up in max security jail.
Okay.
And I whistle blew, and then I personally didn't start getting voice to skull until 2016, but my ex got it sooner. And for me, it's more implanted thoughts, and I just have to recognize what's mine and what's not. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, Haas, what was it for you, bro? Like, what was the first things that you started to notice? Like, oh man, like something ain't right, man. Like this is not right.
I started noticing restricted phone calls to dead phones that had been dead, no service, no number, no MIE numbers. It's just old phones out of drawers or yard sales, like little flip phones, disposables. They started cutting on themselves and ringing.
Okay.
Really?
And I thought that was like probably law enforcement or something. So I went through calling law enforcement. Ruling all this out, law enforcement came out and looked at a helicopter, 2 deputies, Oconee County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina. This is calls that I made to law enforcement reporting this. And they came out and shot their patrol car spotlight on the helicopter. And they said, that looks like a helicopter. I'll give you that one, but no, it's not ours. We don't have any knowledge about it. So when law enforcement told me this, then I escalated my calls.
Okay.
I kept calling people. I started from the bottom, started calling up, all the way up through the government system. And then eventually I got to the White House.
Okay. Definitely, man. Definitely.
I got to do something next so I can charge the phone. 1 second.
Okay, cool, man. So, guys, at which point would you guys say your targeting went to a peak? You know, at what point in your life?
My targeting began. They started doing joint operations, and special forces and stuff was doing training exercises during the time, and it was blocking my YouTube shares and everything during 2017. I couldn't load anything at all. They'd black out my phone, make my phone blink black, code signifying code black, shut up, or radio silent.
Okay.
Or it blink white for right, or right thinking, or something like that.
Okay.
Or yes. They do all this. I designed that little covert communications and all that stuff. Give it meaning, as in what it translates the meaning to me, as so that way I understand what they're signaling to me.
Okay.
I designed that part. That's before I knew everything was bad.
Okay.
It causes more harm than what the valuable data collection is supposed to be for, to promote good. And they're using it to advance this wireless, touchless surgery thing, like industrial medical band.
Okay.
Where they can do wireless surgery indirectly. And
okay.
They said they thought they learned from their mistakes. Someone was talking about these programs, and I'm being able to directed energy right now.
Wow. You okay, bro? Are you okay?
I'm good.
We're getting more satellites on us by the moment, you guys.
It's making me like kind of almost like hiccup, almost burp at the same time, kind of burns.
Wow. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, been going through this since like April. That's when I started reporting it. When I seen it was causing fatalities out of Americans' lives every year.
Okay.
And that's when they started doing this directed energy shit and firing it at me. And when they started attacking me, some of the female soldiers I've been talking to, one of them's name is Mary, and she had a country accent, and then we sit there and joke with each other and cut up a little bit. And this is when we was talking to each other directly. Now they just walk around and talk to each other and say, "Did you hear him say that?" And sometimes I'm not even saying a word. And I looked up microwave hearing U.S. patents of how this technology works just by matching my symptoms and going on Google and matched up a lot of information due to my symptoms, kind of like a doctor would do.
Okay.
You come into a hospital, you tell them your symptoms. Well, I don't trust hospitals because they call it medical practice. They don't call it medical solutions. They give mild improvements, and they suppress all the cures because a cured patient is not a good customer.
Okay.
So I don't trust the news. I don't trust hospitals. Serving yourself is a better thing because you're going to go a whole lot further for yourself than you will a complete stranger. You're just trying to work the clock and clock out and go home. That's all that people care. So you have to take that into factor when you're explaining to people.
Okay. Definitely, man. Big shout out to Eddie Morin. He says V2K, November of 2004. That's how he knew. Thomas Berry says Cyber has the Bible exactly right as reported from the angelic kingdom. Big shout out to Thomas Perry. Big shout out to Praise Jesus. He wants to know, what do they know about the satanic black magic level of the program? Do you guys know?
Okay.
Do you guys know anything?
I understand. Okay, so my theory is with the lineage of Christ, right? If it continued,
okay,
then maybe there's some truth about there being. Look, Jordan Maxwell did. You can YouTube search for this. Jordan Maxwell is his name. He did a 1-hour conference on the first verse, Genesis 1:1.
Okay.
And he knows how to. It's Phoenician, right? It's ancient Phoenician. And he was able to translate from the Phoenician what Genesis 1:1 says. Okay. And it says, let's make man in our, O-U-R, image. It does not say, let's make man in my image. Or, So that being said, maybe there are multiple gods. Maybe there's good and bad. Maybe Satan is like a bad guy. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just a theory, but I don't know what else to believe because I know I don't believe what man tells me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Definitely, man. So that is the take on the satanic black magic level of the program, Cyber?
Yeah, you know what? We just need to call it out for what it is. It's done by U.S. military on U.S. soil. It's treason.
That's right.
That's what we stick with. Who cares about the religion part? Because bottom line is that it's still treason on U.S. soil, and it's against the law, and they need to be stopped.
I want to address something to law enforcement and military that may be listening. Listen, man, I know that some of you really mean to protect us and serve our country and all that, but you're not being read into this. They're about vouching for each other on this military campus and covering us up. You're not being read into it. You've never been exposed to it, nor trained, funded, or given equipment on how to handle such a situation because it's a unique crime that you haven't been exposed to before. And some of the responses of how you treat victims that come to you with actual reports and actual incidents, it's not something where they're crazy. They're giving you actual plausible evidence and names and all that stuff and telling you symptoms of what's happening. I think it's very unprofessional for you to go on the news and say, instruct the public and the American people to come forth to law enforcement and agencies governing and tell us to report suspicious crime and activities, and then you turn around and victimize us twice through it's a systematic victimization. You need to make change.
Amen to that.
That was amazing, guys. That was amazing. Yeah.
I love you, Nexx.
That was amazing. That was amazing. We love you too, Cyber. We all love you. We must protect cyber reconnaissance at all costs. And do Haas.
And do Haas.
And do Haas.
Shit, with now.
Man, big shout out to everybody tuning in live, man. You guys are awesome. All the TIs, every TI. God bless us all. What's going on, Cyber? You gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm not going to let Do out of my sight because he's getting internal death threats and I'm getting external, but it don't matter. We're here together and we're going to fight. So here we are. Come get us. Otherwise.
Man, so you guys know how... I have a question for you guys. Either one of you guys. Can you... Cyber, can you kind of center the camera a little bit? Just center it a little bit.
I don't know.
I got your back. I got your back. We want to see you guys, man. We love you guys. Okay, so you know how some people get V2K, some people don't. Some people get directed energy as far as targeted organs, some people don't. Some people get workplace mobbing, some people don't. Are you guys in the know about the different programs or different levels that they do have to the targeting? Could you guys, if you guys do know about that?
I don't know if I know about that. I mean, we know what the technology is.
Okay.
We know that there are different programs. I mean, if we knew what the programs were, we could go to the Congress right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's multiple teams. There's teams that are developing this technology, the bioengineering and all this stuff, and then there's some that's testing this. Some of the shit I read into, it gave a list of universities and institutes that's involved, as well as project managers and stuff. I can't point and say that these are the ones on the articles I pulled up, but it's showing the shit's going on.
Okay.
But I got the names of the ones, the team that's doing this to me. I can identify that, but I can't sit there and speculate and say it's this and that. In other areas, when I'm not going to deviate false shit. I'm going to tell you what I know firsthand from facts and evidence.
Okay, that's a fact, man. Man, we appreciate that. He's heating up. He's heating up. All right. Exposing McLab says, let's see here. I just didn't know they were doing it from a helicopter. I usually just stare at them down and appear fearless and unmoved by them. Man, my boy M. Weber says, I've had black ops helicopters fly over my house, scan all my electronics. They especially where trying to see through my web camera. Man, do you have any idea about what goes on in these helicopters, dude?
Yeah, the specific type of helicopter they use to hover over your homes and stuff, they do the same thing they done in my neighborhood when I called law enforcement on them, and they spotted them with a spotlight. They get a direct feed to the aerial platform. So what the aerial platforms pick up is theated into the cockpit of the helicopter.
Okay.
It's got usually the helicopters they use has got a unique hole on the front. I talked to military police and they told me to identify the hole, and I told them it had a unique shape. I've never seen it, and I've been through and seen a lot of military helicopters and aircraft. So I've never seen one with that specific type of hole design. Even in some things like they show on the news, Special Forces and Navy SEALs, I ain't even seen them fly this helicopter. It's kind of a small type, and it hovers for hours. It does not move, but it's got a direct feed to all these the satellites, and one of them is like a super server relay center. It's the one that collects all the data. It's like the motherboard ship of the whole network. The fleet.
Okay, definitely.
It's what bounces their information to their fusion center to their campus.
Okay.
It switches to binary and white sounds at the receiver on these UAVs. They camouflage it, and they got programs programmed inside the UAVs to where it codes it and helps keep it stealth.
Okay. Definitely, man. Big shout out to Awakened State of Mind targeted in Australia. Welcome to the podcast, my guy. We lit. Man, if you guys are just now tuning in, things is heating up. He's heating up. This is the NEXXTIME podcast, man. I am your host, NEXX Next Level, man. To the right of me is my good friends Duhas and Cyber, man. Shout out to the Badger Report too, man. He's got an amazing question here. If you guys have any questions, you can call us up. You can actually talk to Duhas and Cyber right now. You can actually talk to me Or you can type it in the comment section right now. Man, he's got an amazing question. Shout out to the Badger Report. You guys check out his channel. By the way, check out his channel. Hassan Cyber, have you any insight and knowledge of British Israelism theology related to the bloodlines being targeted? Not saying it's true, but it's a central doctrine and high levels of Freemasonry.
Yes. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Okay.
She'll talk about the religious part. I'm gonna I'm gonna stay out of the religious part. I'm just gonna talk about what I know is going on.
Because it's treason on U.S. soil.
Okay.
Let me reiterate.
Okay. Definitely.
These programs where people are being targeted through the same symptoms internationally, the treaty deals they have with these other countries, as part of where like our interest or whatever, they do the hush hush shit bullshit.
Right.
Our national security becomes part of their interest or whatever, through some kind of treaty deal. They make deals. So like they're testing on people in other countries too.
M.W. Weber says it sounds like Skynet. Man, do you guys know about Skynet?
Yeah, it's Terminator.
Man, what is going on with the Skynet? What is that about?
That's exactly what's going on.
Man.
It's genocide, treason on U.S. soil, and to me it seems like it's going to be a genocide program, but I'm just saying that off cuff because we have no actual documentation, but it sure does seem funny how they went after the human genome the way they did. Just saying.
Right.
An eugenics program developed at Berkeley University in California that Hitler took over, okay? So let's think about that.
Cyber, turn the camera over to you for a quick second.
Oh, sorry.
So what kind of targeting, like what kind of things do you experience over there? Because you guys are in California, right? Shout out to California. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now that's in California going through this, man. What kind of things do you guys go through over there? Do you too, man? What kind of things do you experience over there in California?
You mean besides the police?
Yeah.
Besides having to sleep in our car, besides every time I try to get at work, they won't hire me, or they have their customer. Like, I'm hurting people's businesses by trying to work for them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, their business will start going down. My father owns a construction company. I could go run that for him. He's begging me to, but I won't touch it because of the fact that I'm a TI. And I don't want him to suffer because of me. And I can't even tell him that's the reason why.
Well, I'm working. I'm being hit with directed energy, so it's a distraction while I'm working. It don't matter if I'm standing next to a police officer in the back of his car trying to protect me. I'm still being hit with this directed energy, and the police officer is not equipped to detect or handle it, or not trained at all to handle this type of crime. So, I mean, some points I take breaks to continue my hobby or something. I mean, I go around and do normal things. I still go around and view places in California, normal stuff. I got some more of a kind of outside the fact of being hit with directed energy by the military campus officials, whatever controlling this, testing it, provide without a collection. I have a pretty good time. I mean, I go around, see things, sightsee. I get just normal stuff. I just kind of separate the fact of what negative is happening, like sustaining this energy or whatever been hitting me, and separate it in my mind to where I could just go through and still have a good day.
Okay.
It's mind over matter kind of thing. It's real hard to do. I mean, it's easier said than done always.
Okay.
But I still go through having a healthy experience through cities and go around talking and interacting with people.
People are nice. You know, most people just don't understand it at all. You know, and even if I want targets to really understand this, they have the ability to implant thoughts into other people's minds. So sometimes people are targeting you and they look at you like you're crazy because they're not understanding that they're targeting you. Okay. So just people be aware of that, because not everybody is your enemy.
That's
and
a fact.
You put people away as a TI because of the fact that they want to isolate you, so they make you think these things, and they make the other people think these things. So people just need to recognize that for what it is.
I want to address a little comment on that note. You judge people before you even, everybody's arm of Google in your pocket. Why are you going to judge someone before you Google it?
Definitely, man. Things is heating up. Things is heating up.
He's heating up.
All right, man. If you guys got any questions for Cyber Reconnaissance and Du Haas, hit us up right now. Let us know how you feeling, what is good, where you from, what is going on with you, man.
Just got perpetrated on another video. I just got a comment on another video. I have this guy that's trolling me on every video.
Let's talk about it.
He says I'm a witch.
Man, who is this guy?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to. Let me see. I'll tell you. Hang on.
Okay.
I might freeze the camera. If it does, I'm sorry. His name is Neil Power. P-A-W-A-R.
Oh, Neil.
Your statue in my living room. A group of them. That's what the name means. You didn't. Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Neil. I don't know what I don't understand I don't understand when he says. I don't know what he does, man. Like, you know what, man? Wouldn't you like to talk to Neil Cyber and let him know? Like, if Neil Power was watching right now, what would you have to say to him right now?
I'm the baddest bitch and witch you ever met, motherfucker.
Oh, no. No, that was awesome, man. Oh, my God.
That's what I think about that. Because he trolls me in all my videos, so that's what I think about that.
Oh, man. If you guys know, if you guys know who this guy is, like, if you're TI and you post or you just watch videos, you see this guy. I just got a comment left on my video, but he doesn't say anything negative to me. I struggle with understanding what he's trying to say, but I just, I would love to have a conversation with him, man, and to just see where he's at, in his targeting or what is going on with him. But right now it's about...
he's a perp. He's a perp.
There's phases and stages they go through when they do this to people. So we can see what stage you're at and how far at the end of the program they got you, because they're getting rid of me after they're done with testing and training and getting valuable data collection. I heard them say it.
He ain't getting rid of shit.
That's right,
if they
dude.
try, they'll get dealt with.
That's right, man. That's right, dude. Man, so you said you heard them say this, so I'm thinking that you're getting some kind of V2K going on. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, Pentagon calls it synthetic telepathy. That's what they know it as.
Okay.
And it was meant to, they tested it during Operation Iraq. There's some kind of Desert Storm or Operation Iraqi Freedom or something. They tested it back then. It was public information. They released this stuff. This is off their sites telling the public this. So I'm clear to talk about it if they release it to the public. So, and a lot of this stuff you can look up in National Archives and get confirming information. And they trying to hush it, and I'm not going to say the proper word for it, but that's as far as I can go legally saying. And they're trying to hush it one that's already been disseminated to the public in previous years. That's a complete idiocy and unprofessional of military campus and personnel, and it's improper use of employment, abuse of employment, and assets and personnel and facilities. They're wanting to do a valuable data collection, all this stuff to advance this technology and testing and all that stuff. They can write contracts with people, and there's some people that sign up for this stuff. And instead, they're using indirect methods to force us into this. Okay.
And what kind of things do they say to you, dude? Like, what kind of things do you hear, man? And is this a 24? Is this all the time, or do they take?
Yeah, all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year, 365 days. It's around the clock. They work in shift intervals. They change out right about 3 or 4 o'clock. I hear the whole class coming in, sitting down. A bunch of people start talking right about 3 or 4, and certain times through the day. And this is how I figured out their shift interval. And eventually, I got to see inside of this classroom and see the computer screen, the screens that's controlling all the drones. They look like a little bitty bunch of little dots, colored dots on one of them's computer screen.
Okay.
And they click and drag them around.
Okay. Do you ever hear any threatening Anything, or do you ever hear any voices that you know, like any people that you know, like other voices? Or is it all
one
like...
of them's named Joshua Pierce. He's sergeant first class to NCO. There's a combat commander or something involved or something, and NCO, sergeant first class, first sergeants, and there's instructors and all this stuff involved. One of them's name's Lori. One of them's named Miss Goss. One of them's name is Joshua Pierce. Stephen, Christopher, David, Tim, Scott. Let's see, I think it says Stephen, and then I think there's something significant I got a hit out of him when I heard something about James, the superintendent.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, he's a superintendent. There's a guy that walks around and wearing all black dress uniforms, dress suit or whatever, kind of like, and he's walking around all black. The rest of them's in digital uniform. I've seen them all. I can identify them on the spot, and all the students' names, I know a bunch of their names. The students' names are as follows. One of them's name's Crystal. One of them's name's Ashley. Ashley's married. She's got blonde hair. She's about 25 or something years old. Got blonde hair. She's married. And a girl named Tanya that does all the hacking into my phones and stuff. She lives in Malibu, Florida. She's a former Fort Jackson station soldier, and she was stationed at Fort Jackson, and she's a former Clemson University student. I used to flirt with her sometimes. This is how I know where she lives. She lives in Malibu, Florida. I had a bad habit of flirting with some kind of women that was in high-end positions. I ain't lying, dude. I'm bad about that. I love to flirt. It's a bad thing. It's a bad habit I got.
You're just a red-blooded man. It's fine. Trust me.
Yeah. I think women at those intelligent positions is hot, and that's my thing. I'm attracted to university women, but women that study, people that's intelligent. That's what I go for.
Right.
So like female soldiers, that's usually the first pick I go with. But I started talking to some of these, and Lisa, which is the one that does the data science, she stepped straight up to the mic and told me, she said, "Boy, I told you I'm married." And I said, "I don't care." I said, he's your home plan, baby. I'm your excitement. And started flirting with them and being funny and shit, just cracking up, and they was getting a kick out of it, so they all coming up saying things to me, and it was kind of a positive experience, despite, the asshole motherfucking guys sitting there hitting me with goddamn directed energy shit. Excuse my bad vocabulary, but
once in a while we're like that,
I'm from South Carolina. I mean, I'm gonna cuss like a sailor, and I'm going to say how it is.
Well, I do that, and I'm not from South Carolina, so what does that mean?
So, dude, man.
I have threats.
What is the difference between the targeting in South Carolina and the targeting out in California?
Well, they seem to target people that think they can get away with it. In our combat manual, it says, "Let the enemy know that you're not an easy target, and be ready," and all that other shit. And so you got to turn. Yeah, you got to turn around. See, there's a trick to it. Any kind of program like this going on, I'm going to tell you how to defeat wars all around the world.
Okay.
I got it.
Any war, elite military is most afraid of, what? Anybody can guess? A journalist.
Okay.
Journalists, that change wars, that change laws, that gets people's attention. Journalists, I called United Nations journalists, and it made all their helicopters and everything go back to base camp. They did not fuck with me for a while. After I got on the phone with the Pentagon, called United Nations, I done all this stuff, and called a police officer out. He was watching all these things fly around, and this is an officer. And he seen these military aircraft flying around. He said, "You're on the phone with Special Operations Command. It looks like you're talking to the right people to handle this situation. This is above my pay grade." He said, "You're on the phone with the right people." He said, "I'll leave you to it." And this is a sheriff office from Oconee County Sheriff's.
Okay. This
is the night shift. Day shift, they're kind of like the unknowing people. They're like, don't follow it.
Okay.
But a certain sheriff, he knows me. He's known me since I was a kid. And we get along great. And this is how a relationship kind of kicked off me reporting this.
Okay.
They'd come through, sheriff. He'd stop, see me in my lounge chair. I've lived in this neighborhood 20 years. Everybody know my name. Sheriff know my name and stuff. They'd come through. I had a great relationship with everybody. I had in the military. They taught us about public relations, and I was maintaining that.
Okay.
I maintain very good public relations and stuff. I mean, I've had a couple misdemeanors, traffic tickets, or something like that, but nothing more than that.
Okay.
But yeah, this how all that stuff went on. Eventually, the sheriff, he knowed me. He knew my character and everything. Neighbors and stuff vouched for it and everything. I said, you don't never bother anybody, and all of a sudden we start getting phone calls about all this stuff going on. And they came out and they seen all this going on. And it was just a couple of deputies and a sheriff.
Okay. Man, big shout out to everybody tuning in live. Man, I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with us. This is going to be an interesting podcast, guys. I want to say what's up to my guy, Juan Carlos. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. We lit.
Hang on, let me
All
answer
right,
him, leave us alone.
We got a question for, let's see. We got a question for you, Duhaus. They want to know, are the voices that you hear, are they in your head?
They're transmitted directly to my skull through electromagnetic frequency. Electronic warfare specialists combined with a cyber specialist can actually hack into your electromagnetic frequencies that your mind pulses off when it sparks.
Okay.
It won't let me text.
Okay.
I was trying to text somebody.
All right.
Our friend is asking, our friend from LA is asking if I'm still on the phone. And I'm like, I tried to text him back, but it won't let me send the text. It's like, it's all jacked up.
Yeah, man.
What a surprise!
Well, we are doing a live stream right now, man. That can wait, Cyber. That can wait, man. All right, tell him he can wait, man. Tell him chill out, man. We are on NEXXTIME right now. Tell him to tune in.
Chill out in LA. I did. He said he can't get the sound or anything. I don't know. He wants me to fix his phone for him. Maybe I can help him. I don't know.
Definitely,
I'll try.
Definitely, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now, watching us live. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We are here for you guys, man. I got some awesome. I got the best moderators in the world. I just want to say that. Shout out to you guys, man. I love all of you, man. And everybody who's tuning in right now, we love all of you guys, man. We come together to do this. We come together to do this.
Good.
Definitely. Man.
Can I see this? Please just show them this for me. Thank you. I love to show them this. Sorry, I like to screw with the people that mess with too.
Okay. Okay.
NUTIs is having this synthetic telepathy. That's what the Pentagon knows it as. That's what they got labeled on name.
That's B2K, right?
Yeah, and you tell them that synthetic telepathy. Somebody that's been read into it or has access to read into it. You can break it to them in that label, then it should get hits or something.
Okay.
A lot of people say they're unknowledgeable about a lot of this shit. Even some states in Congress are unknowledgeable about this. One guy told me it was not permitted on U.S. soil. There's Executive Orders 1325-7 Human Traffic Protection Provisions signed into public law effect 107-something. It was executive order signed by Donald Trump and DOD against human trafficking. So this is what this is. They're testing their military weapons and technology on us and collecting valuable data for it or whatever to advance, make advances. They're selling and theating this data that they're collecting off testing on our American population.
Treason.
They're selling and trafficking human beings because they are theating our naked bodies on this computer screen, doing all this stuff, testing these weapons on us, and they're selling it amongst their chain of command. That is straight up selling a human being.
Okay. Definitely.
Is modern day slavery in the United States, and it must be stopped. We must get to Congress.
He's heating up.
Because if we don't go to Congress, they will do synthetic telepathy to everyone and create a civil war and bring on their police state that they've been trying to do for years.
Let me address this to law enforcement. How can you properly say something to somebody when you have done zero investigation in the areas we speak of?
How can you arrest me and tell me I'm not a human trafficking victim when you have no idea of the technology that exists today? Because it's hidden from you on purpose, so you'll send the human experimentees to mental institutions so they can be further victimized.
Man, that is, man, it's heating up. It is heating up. It is heating up here. Let's see what's going on in the comment section. Man, everybody is lit right now. I love you guys. It's Saturday Night Live for real, right, dude? Right, Cyber? It's Saturday night. Right. It's Saturday Night Live right here on NEXXTIME, man. This is how we do. It's on fire. He's on fire. He's on fire. All right, let's see here. Big shout out to my guy Eddie Morin, man. He said my V2K can mimic almost any voice. Some people I know and some I don't, and that is what happened to me too. I heard my mother, my brother, my enemy, my ex-girlfriend. I heard everybody saying, like, it took times, like, it, yo, dude, man, it was like a hate-a-thon going on inside of my head, bro. And yes, and it went, yes, oh yes, and it went on for
Sorry, that was funny.
It went on for 6 days, okay? 6 days, 6, no sleep. Man, what's the longest you guys ever been up with this sleep deprivation? What is the longest you guys have been up? And then, you know, after that, what kind of things did you experience during that time, if you don't mind sharing?
I can't really say. It just seemed like forever to me, because, like, I would get hit. I'm still being hit. It took so long to get used to it or whatever to be able to go to sleep. You'd be woke up abruptly by being hit with directed energy. Sometimes it's severe pain, screaming, and had to go to the hospital. When you get to the hospital, everything clears up. They quit hitting you with directed energy while the medical examiners are examining you, and then start again after they're done, and law enforcement leaves.
You know, I just wanted to say, while we're on this podcast, we've had more satellites show up again, and they're moving around and getting closer to us, just so you know. So it might mess up our stream, just FYI.
Okay. So, Cyber, that same question to you, man. What is the longest that you've ever stayed up with this sleep deprivation, man? And can you tell me a little something about that experience?
You know, I really think the more I think about it, happened when I was doing drugs, so I didn't notice.
Okay.
That's an honest answer.
Me, I stayed on the books. I stayed on the telephone, and I kept calling people. I'd fall asleep, actually sitting there writing at a desk doing office work, almost like I was doing assisting recruiters or something like that.
Okay.
Getting on the phone, calling manpower and all that shit. That's what I was doing. I was calling anybody that had the authority to do something, and got that where eventually I reached the presidential correspondence, and they directed me to send the information to the president. We haven't got this all fully put together to send it to the people that I'm supposed to send it to. They are waiting. It's been kind of a long wait, but we're having cyber, space, and electronic warfare operations conducted on us, where they're hacking in and make all networks and all electronics that we're using, denying loads of data and all that stuff, and rerouting the CM, the computer module in our phones. It's called blacklisting on a cyber attack. And
Mailbox does it too.
And they reroute and deny load. It's a active denial system or something like that, and it keeps us from accessing data or sharing it. I got stuff from, I can just say, general sources where I'm supposed to report this information to. I can't say any names or content or anything, but I can say this is what I report to. I've informed this to the state Senate and Congress in multiple states.
Okay.
I've tried to put a block on the programs for being funded for another 7 years or something like that, or 4 to 7 years. I think it's a 4 to 7 year program.
Okay.
So we got a while on this, man.
Okay.
They extended some program.
Okay.
And tried to get this information to them before they extended the program and signed the bill.
Okay.
It's meant to protect us or something like that, benefit us, but it's also been abused, and it needs to be known.
Okay. All right, man. I see. Big shout out to Expose. I hope I'm saying this right. Exposing Me Labs. Big shout out to you, man. They got a question for Du.
My labs, military abductions is what that means.
Okay. Okay. Definitely, man. Thank you, Cyber. I appreciate you. I love you, man. They got a question for Du. Ask Du, did the military ever ask for unusual medical tests or psych personality tests?
I've been through all the these tests, psychological tests, all that stuff. I passed all my shit, and
I did too. Working for the DoD, I did too.
Yeah, they at one point they took 2 vials of blood out of me, and they said, "We're gonna keep this one, and we're gonna put this one back in you." And this is when I was going through a process of signing up, and I was on base when I done this, and I got a memory back to 2012 when this happened.
Okay.
I didn't really think nothing of it, because if I'm serving my country, I didn't think they would do some horrible shit to me like that.
You wouldn't think so, because it's treason.
That's just fucked up as hell.
Okay.
Treason. I can't explain to you guys how important and people need to go look up the definition of treason. Okay? And understand what actually can be done and commit treason on U.S. soil. I think it's death. If the Constitution stands correct, you know.
One thing I've seen under Uniform Code of Military Justice, so one of their actions they're doing, it's punishable by death. That's just one charge on a multitude of charges. We have to revoke the security clearance first, and we have to hit put all this stuff on light and just turn the light switch on, and game over. They can't hide it. I mean, if it's found out, there's so many laws that's against it, provision, accident tests, and stuff they are violating. And since people haven't been rode into it, and they're thinking they're getting away with it. No, what I'm releasing here on podcast is giving you enough identifiable information to fight back.
That's right.
Legally, intelligently. No violence. This is a peaceful movement. This is actually educated movement, informing and alerting American people how to make change and make a better America, I guess, as you can say.
Okay.
Free us from these little programs and stuff that's run amok. It just needs governed more properly. And right now it's lacking limits.
It's lacking federal oversight, and we must remember this, you guys, because and
military campuses all across the nation need full inspect. They need to walk through and look through every fucking computer they got on campus. This is how you bust them in the mass. You have authorities go to every campus in the United States and look through all their computers and stuff and see if they got this hooked up, arrest them. This is what they need to do.
Okay, definitely. Cyber,
have detailed inspect.
I got your
military police need to go in and inspect with government oversight.
Internal affairs.
Okay.
Well, the internal affairs are crooked too at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't deal with them. Gotta deal. I'm talking almost letting U.S. citizens go in there and inspect these fucking bases, because U.S. citizens will have their children's interest at heart, not the corporations.
Okay. Cyber says this is treason, guys. Treason. I looked up the definition. I'm about to read it for you guys right now. The crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. Treason. The action of betraying someone or something. Treason, the crime of murdering someone to whom the murderer owed allegiance, such as a master or husband. Treason. Cyber is right, guys. This is treason being committed on New York soil. That was awesome. Yeah. That was awesome.
So also in the links I sent you next was the DOD's directive on court-martialing, right? So if you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, you go down that rabbit hole and find out how the court-martial laws work and the military law works, because we can pursue this on a military law level as well as a congressional level. Right. There are different avenues for us to fight back, and I'm talking in a legal way.
Man, don't forget to smash that like button, guys, for every TI worldwide. Not just for me, not just for D, not just for C, but for every TI, for you and me and everybody. Man, M Weber 777, shout out to you, man. He has an amazing question. He says, do they have to prep you for V2K? Like, do they prep us for this crap, Duhas?
Oh no.
Yeah, they do. Mine started when I first started hearing them. I can hear them passing paperwork back and forth, talking amongst each other. I can hear a female walking up to a guy. A guy, he's usually blowing snot into a trash can right under his. He's blowing snot in the trash can under his foot because I can hear him because I sit in a recruiting office. I know. I mean, some people do that shit.
Okay.
And they sit up drinking Red Bull. One of them actually fell asleep out there at the controls before they got all these students and these instructors involved. And I heard an alarm clock go off. Well, that's funny because I was camping during the time and they ain't a single electronic in sight.
Okay. Man. Exposing my labs. Shout out to you, man. She's exposing my labs. And I saw that too. Exposing my labs. That's what it is. Has anyone ever heard music instead of voices? Have you guys ever heard music before?
No, just what I sing to myself.
They sit there with their personal phones and stuff recording some of this. I can hear like a recording button or something be activated at some points where I'm sitting there thinking or something, going through notes, and I can hear the instructor order a female, put a block on that.
Okay. Man. And Weber says 3 days no sleep was the longest he has ever stayed up. Guys, we are all going through this sleep deprivation. Everybody that's tuning in right now, man, let me know what is the longest that you guys have ever stayed up, man. And if you guys want to call us up right now and tell your story, let me know, man. Hit us up. You see the numbers streaming across right now? Let me know right now. Dude, what's going on, man?
Me?
Yeah, man, what's going on, man?
To address the situation about the sleep deprivation,
Yeah.
I heard them step forth near the mic where I can hear them. They was talking amongst each other, and they said, we're just supposed to keep him awake until the next shift comes in. So they do this for a certain course of months or something, and I don't know what part of the phase of this program it is. And they do this for like a course of 90 days. It's 90 days from exposing you to whatever it is they put in your body through wireless touchless surgery. And you can look up the articles. The Army's bragging about the exercises and stuff they're doing with this technology. And it's all public information. You just got to Google it, man.
Okay. Definitely. Man, the Badger Report says, may God bless us all and cause us to walk according to his will. That is amazing. That's amazing. Man, this is an amazing podcast. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, guys. This is really real. Okay, this is out in the street. This is real talk. This is real time on NEXXTIME, man. We got some real official TIs. Homeless, guys. These guys are homeless. In the streets of California right now. Nowhere to go. No money. Things is getting real, guys. Things is really real, guys, for TIs, man. There is a GoFundMe link in the description, man. If you guys are willing to help at all, man. Anything counts, man. Click on that link. And even if you can't help, copy the link and paste it somewhere. Share it somewhere where somebody can help. You can do that for a TI, man. Whew,
all right.
man.
If I received any kind of charity or agent, anything like that, or assistance or something, it'd be go towards continuing with this here today and just sustaining what we got to do, alerting the people. I think getting enough fundings or something like that going or something like that. I think we can actually properly educate people about this and how to handle it. And properly take it to the proper steps and methods we got to get change.
Definitely, man. That is awesome, my friend.
Anyone have any questions or something like that about your symptoms or something? You want to understand it? There are the phases they go through the symptoms that they go through. At the end of it, they're supposed to do a phase 1 safety clinical trial test for an exit part of the program.
Okay. Well, I definitely got a question for you, dude. There's been something that has been happening to me recently. Like I'll be up, right, dude, and I'm up and I'm vibing, and the next thing you know, I get all drowsy, and it's like, and it's not like I haven't, like, let's say I'm up, like I just woke up a little while ago, and I rested a little bit. I'll just get a drowsy spell, like, oh my God, like, and then my mind gets all scrambled, and I feel like I'm ready to pass out, bro. Like, do you know what this is? Is this a directed energy attack?
Yeah, it is a directed energy attack. That's why you see me looking lazy-eyed, but I'm being attacked. But at the same time, I'm just trying to remain cool, calm, and collect, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Been experiencing this for 24/7, around the clock. I mean, for an entire year or more.
Okay. Definitely.
Right now, they're having to force me to urinate, so I'm gonna have to take a leak. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello.
Now we are back with Cyber Reconnaissance, the great guys. We must protect Cyber Recon at all costs, okay? Guys, there is a GoFundMe link in the description right now, man. If you can give anything, just anything, man, just do it, man. We have a homeless TI right now who needs your help. And if you can't do it, copy and paste that link somewhere where somebody can. You can do that. This is what we do here on NEXXTIME, man. We got to look out for each other, guys. If we don't look out for each other, who else will? She is out. She is down on her luck right now, guys. And
the reason why Du and I are down on our luck is because we are exposing the truth. Most targeted individuals don't understand the truth, and this is the truth. Okay. A lot of videos out there want you to believe that it's, HR negative blood and all of those things. People need to understand it's just the U.S. military doing this on U.S. soil.
What'd you say, Cyber? Treason. Committing treason on U.S. soil.
Yes, and it's the military doing it, which I think makes it punishable by death because it's our own soldiers doing it.
Definitely, man. Oh, man.
Domestic terrorism. They want to say that we're domestic terrorists because we're targeted individuals.
Right.
But they're the true domestic terrorists. And we need to remind them of that. If you guys get voice to skull, remote neural monitoring where they're talking like they do, then I really think that you guys should tell them that they're committing treason on U.S. soil. Right. Talk back to them. Don't be afraid of them. Tell them off. Stand up to them. Don't be scared of them because they will fall.
Wow. So you guys heard me, man. If you guys can't help out financially, man, just copy and paste the link somewhere where somebody can, man, because this is a serious situation, guys.
We are trying to get NBC News to look at this, you guys. When this is all said and done, I think we'll see it on national news, and I'm hoping that Du is okay and I'm okay because we are trying to take it to NBC.
Cyber is heavily targeted. This young lady is very intelligent, college educated, and they have targeted my dear friend, man. And we can do what we can, guys. Shout out to M Weber. I keep saying MW, man. Shout out to you, man. M Weber 777 says she's right. I met my military perps. I think it's rogue units in the military. Big shout out.
Special Operations, U.S. Army, and Joint Forces. So it's like so calm.
The Badger Report says, shout out to him, man. Martial law, military tribunals. Exposing My Lab says there's a lot of homeless TIs right now. Yes, there is, man.
I think the program is growing, and I think it's getting more severe for those of us that are already in it.
That is a fact. Exposing My Labs.
they're going to stamp out political dissidents at all, but political dissidents is what keeps the liberty available to all citizens.
Right.
Dissidents are the reason why we have liberty. If our forefathers were not political dissidents, we would still be under England's rule. Do people understand that? So be aware of that and remember that if you are a targeted individual, you can speak out to your slave owners at this point is the way I'm going to describe them,
okay.
Right? And you let them know that you're a human slave, and you let them know that you are a human trafficking victim, and that this will be brought to Congress's attention because it's already on its way. I think they're going to try to start a civil war, and I'm trying to prevent it. Du and I are trying to help prevent it because they're going to use remote neural monitoring and voice to skull to get everybody angry against each other, brother against sister, right?
Yeah,
like black and white, red and blue.
They hitting us. They hitting us with frequencies, and they
they're hit us with frequencies until we're so violent that we just kill each other off.
Yeah.
So
and it happens in the hood. It happens in the hood, guys. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but you get a lot of hood on hood crime. Whoever is in the hood is so tough and we're gonna kill it. It's all about that, guys. That you wonder what's happening there, right, Cyber? These frequencies, we've been hit with these frequencies, and they can
absolutely look at Baltimore. Baltimore's a prime example. Baltimore, I watched a documentary on Baltimore, and it was like a happening city for a long time, and now it's this run-down ghetto, right? And there's just like all these black kids dying and shit, and it's like they're causing that.
Oh yeah.
They're destroying our country from the inside out, and it's treason, and they must be hung. I don't want anybody to survive that was a participant in this program because they have harmed children, and that is why I get pissed off because they came after my kids. They gave my 22-year-old seizures, and now my daughter is voice to scold so badly she won't even speak to me.
Oh yeah.
So that to me is punishable by death alone.
Okay. Shout out to M Weber. I keep saying M Dub. I don't know why. M Weber. Shout out to M Weber, man. He says that's the end goal, civil war. He's saying she's right. She's definitely right. Exposing My Lab says, yep. Praise Jesus says nanotechnology, man. If you guys notice, man, I know they're hitting the hoods all across the country, all across the world. They're hitting the hoods with these frequencies, man. That's why we can't get along, man. That's why our peoples can't get along, man. That's why we out here killing and shooting each other, man. Chicago, big ups to everybody in Illinois, man. They're definitely getting hit with these frequencies over there, man. And it's just unfortunate and it's sad, but you don't really see that in the rich neighborhoods, the suburbs. Like you don't see them out there banging and beating each other up and shooting and killing each other, no. But you do see the gang stalking out there. We see it. We know that our eyes is trained to see it. But you know what? For the average person just going to Starbucks, getting their coffee, they don't know what's going on, right, Cyber? They have no clue what's going on out here in these streets.
And even though they could be victims themselves, they just don't realize it.
They don't realize it. They don't realize it. Big shout out to Deb Olson. Man, we love you. Thank you for joining the podcast. It's turning up right now. This is Saturday Night Live. Next time is the best time.
Love you, Nexx.
Man, if you guys are just now joining us, I am your host, NEXX. Man, you guys are the best. I love you, man. Y'all keeping that comment section going, keeping it lit up, keeping it lit like we always do, right? Like we always do with my man Du Haas and Cyber Reconnaissance. Guys, we must protect Cyber Reconnaissance at all costs. At all costs. Man, these comments is on fire right now. I gotta hit it on fire for that. He's on fire! What is good? We got a question for Du Haas, man. That was a long piss, dude. That was a long pee, man.
Yeah.
Man. Man. Let's see here, man. We are live in the building, man. We are live in the building, man. We are going to make the best out of this situation, guys. We are not going to sit back and cry. We are not going to sit back and hide. We are not going to take this ish from none of these gang stalkers or perps and none of this crap anymore. anymore. It's time for us to fight back, guys, and it's time for us to pray against this thing. It's time for us to do what we have to do. We got some people who are advanced with the knowledge, with this technology, man. And guys, do you guys want to talk about the technology that is developing right now that we can use to counter these frequencies and things that's happening right now? Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
I can tell you one thing right now that you could use if you're having sleep deprivation problems. They're called Faraday cages. They are kind of expensive to make, about $300-400. You can get this stuff at Home Depot. You can Google how to make them, and they'll give you EMF protection from the frequencies. I think Dew needs one so freaking badly, and I don't have the money to put one together for him.
Miller Wave Obscure, that ends all surveillance from all technology. Miller Wave Obscure.
Okay.
I got a cyberspace and electronic warfare operations field manual from the Army.
Okay.
It explains we got to use Miller Wave Obscure to end all surveillance.
Okay.
So you need a frequency module to produce the Miller Wave Obscure.
My guy Kevin Meredith, man, big shout out to Kev Meredith, man. He's got a question for Du Haas. Do you have a definition for who comprises the deep state?
The deep state officials and all that. All this stuff really went amok when Obama became president. He said he was going to stop a lot of these programs and, before they gave NSA unpresidential power to surveillance, and they created all these programs and signed them. What he assigned is still in effect. This is some of the little effects off of him,
okay,
and then shit is all going on.
Okay. I know sometimes I got a little vibrate, like my eyelids start vibrating sometimes. Like I don't know what's going on with that. I get a little pulsing in my ears, just like my guy. Shout out to M. Weber 777. He has a great question. How do I counter the ringing in my ears? Does anybody know how to counter the ringing in the ears?
That's tendinitis. That's the technical term for it. The medical term is tendinitis. And that is just getting hit with frequency. And I don't know if you could really block it besides using something to protect you from EMF.
The latest satellite they put up in 2016 counters 18 frequencies, 18 different frequencies. So each setting is almost like picking locks. If you're a locksmith, you got to pick the pins. Well, you got to match the frequency, the waves, and all that stuff.
It's signal intelligence.
You got to match it to 18 of them. And if you do more than 18 produced through a satellite hooked to a computer, you can actually shut down their system and make it disengage, and they can't control it.
Okay.
I started to do this my first day of being attacked, but I lacked the resources and stuff. I didn't have what I needed to work with.
Okay.
I know how to fight back. I just don't have resources, what I needed to funding.
Okay. Definitely, man.
Guys, on base and following orders and stuff from military personnel, I would have access to all that. But like I said, I'm home. I'm not in the military or anything currently. So I don't have access to all the equipment and stuff.
That is a fact, man. He doesn't have the access to the equipment, but guess what, guys? We have access to each other, guys. We have access to amazing information. We have access to the Father, And big shout out to the Badger Report, man. He says this: we can protect ourselves with the shield of faith. Man, Juan Carlos says a Faraday cage might help. Isn't that what you was talking about, Cyber? The Faraday cage?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Where's Ashton? I'm being punked. Big shout out to you. Says try garlic oil in your ears. Garlic oil in your ears.
I bet that smells good.
M. Weber says my ringing in my ears has gotten worse. Man, it comes and goes with me, man. Does that ever happen to you guys? The ringing in the ears?
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
If you try to block microgravitic signals, I think you would make success, because microgravitic is how they control the molecules in our body through wireless touchless surgery.
Man, where's the action on being punked? Says yes. That's number one. Every time I've started to get it, I rebuked it and went away, and it went away. Thankfully, that's awesome. Yeah. Man. Okay, one thing that I do want to talk about on Next Time right now is you know, addiction. You know, I see that a lot of, it's very common in the TI community, you know, whether it's to nicotine or whether it's to marijuana or whether it's to crack cocaine or powder cocaine or heroin or pills or acid or whatever substance, that Percocets, you know, whatever. I find that addiction is common in the TI community. Would you guys agree?
I think they go after people that do drugs because you're easy prey, because they could just blame it on the drugs, and they frame you for crimes that have the drugs involved to make you in the program. So it's just a way to frame you.
That's a fact. That is a fact, man. She's heating up.
He's heating up.
Man, I see it. I see it. I see it. It's very common in the community, man. Has anybody in the comment section battled with addiction or had any battles with addiction? I mean, there's even food addictions. You know?
Yeah, well, I had a problem with drugs. I was doing methamphetamine when I worked at Lockheed Martin, and that's why, you know, I think part of the reason why I got put in the TI program is because they were able to say that it was that, right? So when I got arrested, they blamed it on that.
Right.
When y'all react to this, and whether you eat out of depression from being hit with directed energy, I heard one of them come out and say, log that. Some female told someone to order them to log that information like that. I was thinking aloud, I was like, eating out of depression bullshit, and she said, log that. So they're gathering facts, your reactions, and they're gathering data off your reactions when they're doing this to you.
Okay. Definitely, man. I'm just wondering, man, is anybody going through this, man? Like, there's so many different addictions. Alcohol addiction, like, there's even sex addiction, porn addiction, you know. And I see that this is common with the TI community, and you know, it's not really a easy thing to talk about. But it's things that we can overcome if somebody is struggling and needs help in this situation. You know, others who have went through this can be a helping hand in that situation. Me myself, I have struggled with many addictions, you know, coming up and going through the things that I went through, but I was able to overcome mostly all of those addictions, you know what I mean, by the grace of God, and I know it was him, and I give him all the glory because he is awesome. Yeah. Man. I'm going to go into the comment section right now because it's on fire, guys. It's on fire. I'm going to get it on fire for the comments.
He's on fire!
For the comment sections right now. What's up, dude?
Just chilling, man. It's alright night, despite the factors, you know, constantly hit. The more I release information, and they kind of freak out when I jump up and get on the phone and do something, because it's just a certain way we deliver a message. I'm staying out of religious side of it. I'm just stating the facts. Like, I talked to someone at NATO, NATO Biomedical, their military medicals. I talked with them, and they said, just state the facts. Just give me the facts.
Okay.
That's what they said, how I needed to talk to people in power is just state the facts and giving identifiable information, like they said on that presidential correspondence message on that phone call. They said report the dates, times, and the people involved, and so that way you can send information directly to the president. He will reach out and try to do something. I mean, because they're not read into some of this. It has to be brought to their attention.
Okay.
We're talking about top security clearance classified crap that the president isn't privy to.
Okay.
Only the upper echelons of, let's say, the deep state. I mean, I don't even know if we want to call it that. Who knows, right? But we'll just say that at this point. So the presidents, since I think Eisenhower, have not been privy to what the CIA and all the other alphabet agencies have been doing since Eisenhower.
Okay.
That's why Kennedy's speech, why he said what he said, because he no longer had control of the CIA. And that's why he ended up assassinated.
A security contractor was contracted out to hire someone to kill him.
Definitely.
I got a list of the people that have done that.
Definitely, man. I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Warner Spirit. I see you, man. Getting a lot of love in the chat section, man. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. We love you. Man, if you guys are just tuning in, this is the Next Time podcast, man. We are talking about a few things, and it is heating up. It is heating up. He's heating up. All right, it's heating up, guys. I love you guys for rocking with us, man. This is the livest, man. It's really live right now, guys. To the right are my good friends, heavily targeted, real thorough TIs, Du Haas, Cyber Reconnaissance. Guys, I forgot to mention, man, if you guys want to get in contact with Cyber or Du, actually she's got a Twitter page, YouTube page. She's out here, man. She's got a GoFundMe account right now. Unfortunately, they are homeless right now, and you know, they need your help. If you guys can help in any way, we would be greatly appreciated, man. And even if you can't help, just copy and paste the link somewhere where someone will see it, where somebody can help. We do ask for, you know, this is a TI community, guys. We got to be there for each other when we can be there for each other, man. Why not? If we don't do it, who else is going to do it, man? Let's see here, man. My boy Badger says, is anybody having stream freeze up? Actually, everything is clear on my end. Everything is green, and everything is what it is on the scene, man. We were talking about a few things, man. We were talking about addictions, how that is very common in the TI community. Oh, man, dude, have you ever struggled with any addictions, you know, while your targeting was going on? Is that something that...
Yeah, I smoke a whole lot more, and
okay.
And like sometimes I'll eat all day and I can't gain no weight. They're like controlling my body weight. I tricked them into answering that question. I said, I will even control my body weight, and they told me. I was telling the instructor that one of them told me that's operating this. She walked up to someone. Did you tell him we control his body weight? And
okay.
So they kind of told on herself. So I can't gain any body weight from hell to high water, even if I eat all day long like a fat kid. So I stay skinny, and they just...
and they used that against him. The cops did last night.
Oh, man. Let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that a little bit, man. What was going on with those cops, dude? I mean, like just for everybody for people who don't know, man, there was a conference call. There are TI conference calls, guys. I'm going to actually do a video about this tomorrow. Almost every night, right? About this time, it don't matter. During the daytime, they are on the phone and they are connecting and they are networking. And so, you know, I just found out about this, guys. And, you know, I got a Skype from Cyber. You guys can Skype me. My Skype information is available. You guys can hit Cyber. Her Skype information is available. She Skyped me. I told her about the call. She calls in. She starts explaining what's going on. Actually, she wasn't doing anything wrong. You know, she was in her car. Everything is legal. Next thing you know, the cops roll up on her. Yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, they're accusing her of being a missing person. And, dude, what happened to you? What did they do to you, dude?
They pulled me out of the car and they started forcing me on the ground, and then they started like asking me what am I doing, and I'm like, you're like pulling me out of a car, and I'm just asking you, I'm sitting here staring at a beach, at the ocean, talking to people on the phone.
Right.
And I was like, what have I done wrong for you to you know, come up and like target it and then like start to interview us? All law enforcement is required to interview people for a minimum time of 21 minutes. So usually it takes about 45. They bullshitting around calling people.
Okay.
At the moment he walked up the window, I already looked down. I was like, shit, there goes 21 minutes of bullshit.
Right.
And I'm being hit with directed energy at the same time. I'm not telling this this uneducated man about this, something he don't have no understanding about or even heard of.
Okay.
And as I'm being hit, now he can tell there's something wrong with me, but he don't know what. And I'm not coming out telling him I'm being hit with directed energy, because you gotta talk to people in a certain way. You gotta talk to certain people that's experienced this or has knowledge about this, and you gotta talk and do like we're doing right now and spreading the awareness.
Right.
And then you go in and report this like law enforcement or somebody with top secret clearance that can go in to investigate people with messing with classifieds. You gotta have law enforcement with top secret clearance do this shit.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Man, so after this interaction with the police, dude, like, where does that take you? Like, where does that take your mind state? Because you weren't doing nothing, bro. Like, they didn't even really have the right to even talk to you. You didn't break no laws. You had your seatbelt on, you know. Like,
yeah, I was sitting in passenger seat, just looking at that, talking to people like we're doing right now.
Right.
We actually doing a podcast.
Definitely.
And I don't know. It's just I done went through so much ordeals that that's just it's kind of fucked up. I mean, last time at one point I was detained out of bullshit like that and forced to a place where I was held for 4 months, and then they was going to transfer me to an undisclosed location for whatever. And people with top secret clearance come out to interview me.
Okay.
And that was before I would become aware fully of what was going on. Like I said, you know, I'm just an average Joe that jumped up and volunteered to serve my country. I didn't think they would do this to me.
Okay.
So I didn't really think that Army would turn on their own like this, regardless of the personnel thing. But then, you know, but you're reading Army crimes, they're the worst criminals that there are, because they're trained to do such highly sophisticated shit.
Okay.
So those are the real criminals to watch out for.
Okay.
Most people put hype on some bullshit, school shootings and all that crap.
Yeah.
No, you need to pay attention to these DARPA programs, what they're researching this technology. It opens up doors to do threats that we've never dealt with.
Okay. Definitely, man. He's eating up.
He's heating up.
Man, he's heating up.
Everybody's worried about them snatching their guns. Well, your gun's not going to stop airsoft from being biologically released on you until it's when it's signed by Congress or something. I don't know, you know. So people need to become more aware of what they got to pay attention to on the defense of their families and loved ones, and, you know, just general people, you know, in the public.
Definitely. That is a fact, man. Is everything okay, dude? I hear some stuff going on around. Is there any perps out? Like, you see anything?
Nah, they sent ground units, like agent dudes that had this microwave hearing, and they could hear all the things that I said, because the neighbor asked me what was going on. They thought I was going to release the information about all this before. I was staying quiet about it. I was trying to handle it behind closed doors, talking to military police. I was going on military bases, going and closing the door, saying only for military personnel, I thought we should handle this behind closed doors to prevent any kind of civil unrest.
Okay.
I was trying to do it in a complete military manner at all times. That's where I was, the commanders and the people that trained me and stuff, they expect me to conduct myself in a military manner at all times, and that's what I tried to do.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't do shit trying to handle it behind closed doors, so now we're going public.
Okay, definitely, man. I think that is what we need to do. We need to speak out against this thing, man. We need to say what we know. We need to know what we say. We need to say what we know and know what we say all day. This is the Saturday Night Live edition of NEXXTIME. I got two special guests on the right with me for the TI community, man. That's really going through it, guys. You're really seeing this in real time, man. These guys are home right now. You know, they are in the car, guys. They have nowhere to go. They are homeless. How many people in the chat room right now are brave enough to admit that you have ever been without a place to stay and got through it. Guys, we need to have hope. We need to come together and help if we can in any way. And big shout out to War in the Spirit. He says, these are very enlightening podcasts. Priceless, man. Big shout out to you, man. That was
awesome. I want to say they have total disregard of locations of where you're at. When they're attacking you, you can be sitting with an infant in your lap, trying to administer and pay attention to a child, and teach them or whatever, interact with them. And I was attacked in a church. I was attacked inside of a hospital. I was attacked in the back of a police car.
Okay.
I was attacked while I was on the phone talking to people at the White House and everything. Someone at the White House advised me not to fly because if they're doing all this stuff with cyber hacks and stuff that mess with airplanes, they told me not to fly. So I took a Greyhound out here.
Okay. Man. And which would you say is more severe, man, on the East Coast or where you at right now?
It's a joint. They're using joint bases. It's a joint operation. It's been the same. It's just more. They direct more at me when I start coming off of the shit where they're starting to worry about something kicking off with it.
Okay. And big shout out to everybody that's rocking with us live. I want to thank everybody for smashing that like button, man. Thank you for smashing that like button. You guys are the real MVPs, man. Oh, man, I see it getting better for you guys, man. I see a better day on the horizon, man. You got a lot of people, a lot of people who think that Donald Trump is the answer, What do you got?
He's in a firing mood.
What are you guys? What are you guys' opinion on that?
I voted for Donald Trump because in a place where we got problems with abuses of programs and corruption, he's the cure to cancer because ever since all his shows and stuff, he had a show of business of running his billion-dollar industries and stuff. He's real quick to fire people. He's not afraid to say you're fired. So that's a cure to cancer. That's why I voted for him in the office. Do his thing and how he says it. You're fired. When he come in, the first thing he done, he started firing people in the FBI. He started firing all these other people, and that's what we need to do, bring it to his attention, because he ain't afraid to fire people. He straight up sending them out the door.
The unfortunate thing about him doing that, though...
Turn the camera, Cyber. Turn the camera.
The unfortunate thing about him doing that, though, is the fact that people think he's unstable because he makes such quick decisions. And so that is things that I've heard, right? But I personally think that maybe he is being mind controlled just like the rest of us.
Okay.
And doesn't know it. He's getting voice to skull and he's making whatever decisions he's making, they're forcing him to make them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's why these programs haven't stopped since he's gotten in office.
I explained to NSA, National Security Agency, they took a report I called NSA Police, and told them that the people of the military campus was testing their warfare technology on me and training people, and they was exploiting me through their little program or something. And they wrote down the report. So NSA people at every level of government has been formally and officially notified, and there has been zero response. And some points at the end of it, the higher parts, I'm having trouble uploading all of the stuff together. It has to be delivered right. I don't want to just upload a bunch of stuff. That's kind of the way I got things loaded up. It's just got clips and videos. It's not put together telling the full story or anything like that. So I got to have all that properly ready to deliver to them.
Okay.
Because I don't want them to take the message the wrong way. They need to be told right and officially and formally, and peaceful and educated way, and address each and every situation accordingly and intelligently and legally.
Okay, definitely, man. big shout out to Eddie Morin. He says Trump is just another puppet. Man, I definitely believe that, man. I don't think that presidents have any power. I just think they're told what to do and say. And if they don't do what they're told to do, they end up like JFK.
Yeah, like, no, the people that you need to worry about is the ones that stay in office, like the ones that come up to the president telling them this is how things are running. And the people that stay in government for 20, 30 years.
Incumbents.
And we can vote the president in and out of office. This is the way the system is kind of designed. We get the public opinion polls are used as to test and see whether they need to recast or retweak the programming to the public, depending on how they accept it. That's what the public opinion polls are used for.
Okay.
So they're recasting and retweaking the programming, dissemination, media exploitation center, all that crap. Varying on what y'all put in public opinion polls. So, they react to that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting on that level. The Facebook was putting out for because there's a midterm election coming up, and they want to know what everybody's gonna vote. Gee, I wonder why.
You know what, man? I think that is just a distraction, man. Because the vote,
it's another way for them to run a program on us for them to control what the population thinks.
The vote.
If they give us the option to make us feel like we made the change by impeaching somebody, voting them out of office, and still the programs are running because we're not looking at the right sources, the ones that's causing all this.
Facebook is very compromised, right? And
no kidding. FBI, Facebook Inc. Need I say more?
And this voting crap is I almost cursed. This voting crap is a lie. It's not even real. It's just a deception. They already know who they want to put in office. They calculated all of this. Do not be fooled, guys. Your vote does
probably very interesting.
Your vote is just as good as a pig with gray wings who flew to the Mesopotamia planet Asia star McDonald's spear planet. Like that it doesn't make any sense. It don't count. It doesn't matter. They already know who they want and they know who's going to be the next president. They knew Donald Trump was going to be president. That's why they had him on The Simpsons as the president in 2000 or whatever. So they just say, oh, come on, guys, get out here and vote and blah, blah, and get people excited. Meanwhile, the shadow government is behind just controlling everything, targeting us.
One thing that I thought...
They just try to keep us occupied. They try to keep our minds occupied and not focus on what's really happening to people out here.
Yeah, all our electronics and all that stuff they give us to entertain ourselves and die for our time, so we hadn't to worry about our life and selling so much time of our lives to corporations and stuff, working, trying to make ends meet and all that, and we're spending less time with our family. We're spending less time actually learning shit. We're just slaving to work a job and chase a piece of paper all day long.
Get out here and vote, guys. Get out here and vote, guys. Right? Get out here and vote, guys. You know what else? I don't mean to cut you off, dude, but this is something that they use, right? This whole government and all this crap, right? It's just bullish, right? They use it to put people against each other, right? Because you have the conservative left over here, you have the Republicans over here, and the Democrats over here, and the shadow government owns both parties and sitting back laughing at, everybody going against each other. Well, I think this is that. I think this is this. They own both parties. It's all BS. It's all BS. Like, don't fall for this crap, this voting crap, this Democrat, Republican, conservative crap. It's just things that they put in place to separate us, to keep us divided against each other and not united. And it's a ploy that they use, and they're using that against us. Because you got the Trump supporters who hate the Democrats, who hate the blacks, who hate the whites, who hate the Chinese. And they orchestrated all of this crap, yo, and they just don't fall for that crap. I tell people that every time, go out and vote for Trump. He's going to change the world. He's not changing nothing but his commas in his bank account, the money in his bank account. That's it. This is all a ploy, guys. Open your eyes. This I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's all BS. This is how I feel. That's my opinion, and that's what it is. Like, that's exactly what it is. Go
well,
for it,
when you start stepping on the Bill of Rights, we no longer have a U.S. Constitution.
It's
we
all
no longer
crap.
have a republic. And we need to remember that we are a republic. We are a collection of states, and the federal government should be a certain size, and the states have rights. And because of the fact that the military is doing this on U.S. soil, we have the right to revolt. We have the right to secede from the Union if they keep it up. And so people need to think on a peaceful level, but be prepared to fight, because these are our children's lives that are at stake, and I need people to understand that.
Yes, exactly. That's what they want. Like, they want us. They putting in all of these things into play to turn people against each other. Like, they don't want, because they know the united we stand. We are stronger than them if we could just unite. You know what I mean? So they spread hate and they plant seeds of hatred in every people's minds. That's what this whole targeting crap is about. It's about turning people against each other. It's about turning the TIs against the perps. But we all people. We are all people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I see this thing. And then it's turning TIs against TIs, right?
Yeah.
Just like the Republicans against the Democrats, and you know, like, it's all BS. That's all. It's just a ploy for us to turn against each other. The whites against the blacks, right? The Hispanics against the Chinese, like, and that's why racism. That's why they started this racism crap. It was none of this racism in the beginning times, but they started it and they're using it to control us. And we're so stupid. We're so stupid. We fall for it. You know,
just like they do religion.
Right. You're right, Cyber. You're right, Cyber. Let's get into it, Cyber. Let's get into it, man. It's heating up. It's heating up, guys.
He's heating up.
It's heating up, man.
The original form of mind control was the Bible, and people need to respect that as a fact.
That's a fact.
If you don't believe, then you don't believe the fact that Constantinople in 544 AD created the Bible, and they left books out. And he wanted to become a Christian, right? So that's why Constantinople, because they were pagans. So he wanted to become Christian, and so that's what they did, was create the Bible. So don't you think they would have made it so he could control all the millions of people that were under his rule at the Ottoman Empire at that time? Why don't people understand that? Because people don't know the history of the Bible, where it actually came from.
They created Catholics to counter the screw-up of Christianity.
Because of the paganism.
There's something that screwed up Christianity. They created Catholics.
That's the devil, guys. That's the devil, guys. That's what the devil does. He got into the faith. He got into the good book, and he divided Christianity. And now we got what? We got Catholics. We got Baptists. We got Protestants. We got, what we got, guys? Help me out. We got Mormons. We got come on, help me out, guys. We got all these different branches of Christianity, and they're all saying, oh, that one isn't right, this one isn't right, oh, you do that, oh, we pray to the mother, we do, and they just use division to destroy humanity. It don't matter what it is. We could go to politics, we could go to religion, we can go to family units. They use division to destroy and break families. That's what this targeting is about. That's why we got to come together, guys, because they attacking us and they assuming our minds, and they destroying lives. They got people living in the cars right now. They got people on the streets that don't
They're tearing
have no
our
food.
families apart. They're tearing the family unit apart, because families, clans, you stay together, you protect each other, and you can see it, because when I was arrested last year, they forced me to take a parenting class. And when I was in the parenting class, the first thing the psychologist says is everything your parents taught you about raising children is wrong. How dare you? How dare you think that you know, because you have some fucking psychology degree, what my parents did was wrong?
Tell them,
Fuck
Cyber.
you.
Tell them, Cyber.
Fuck you.
They tricking us, right? They tricking us, talking about, oh, people are dying from the flu.
Psychology about breaking down the family unit so they can divide us and make us into autonomous I think they actually want to make us into androgynous beings. Like, I really do. I think that's like, I know that's kind of far out there, but that is, and I see it in San Francisco. They actually have a trans, like, so you can become like whatever other sex you want to be. You know what I mean? That's an abomination, these people that look like they're male and female. That is not what God said man and woman were.
She's heating
and
up.
It's an abomination they're doing.
Let's go. Let's go, Cyber. Keep it going, Cyber. We on fire right now. Keep it going.
It's just an abomination. So them using the mind control program, they can program people to be sexual with both sexes. You understand what I'm saying? So it forces people to want to be that transsexual being, which is not what God says man and women are. You know, we were meant to come here and procreate and have children. They want to take that right away from us. And you can see it with the psychology and them telling you everything your parents taught you was wrong, for number one, right? And then you just go in and you see the breakdown in the family all around. I mean, there was a lot of parents in that class that were good parents, and the other parent that had the kid was not as a good of a parent. Kind of like me and my ex-husband.
Yeah,
my ex-husband's very narcissistic. I am not.
They told me they can remote control whether I have children or not.
Wow, man.
They actually gone that far to actually make it remote controlled whether you are capable of having children or not.
Man.
That's a crime against humanity on a different level, don't you think, Nexx?
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Man, we getting
That's
to
genocide.
it. We getting to it.
Genocide.
Man, we getting to it, man. This is Next Time. This is the podcast, man. There's no time like next time, guys. We are getting to it. Things is heating up, man. I got my guy, Hoss and Cyber Reconnaissance on the
And I can tell you one thing right now, that he's telling the truth, because me and my ex-husband had 3 miscarriages after my daughter was born.
Wow.
And I got my iPhone after my daughter was born.
My daughter's name is Nevaeh. It's heaven spelled backwards. She was actually stillborn.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man. My condolences to you, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. She's in heaven right now with the Father, man. We're just waiting for you to return, bro. Don't, you know what I mean? I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that.
They actually killed my sister and shit because doctors detected something in her body too, and they said out of 30 years of their medical profession, they've never seen anything like it. They removed the internal blockages. The shit being forced through the body causing inflammation and abnormalities that the medical profession has never seen before or something.
Right.
And they removed it out of my sister's body, but eventually her body grew weak and then she died.
Right.
We got a house surveillance camera caught video of her crawling to the front porch.
Wow. Man, I'm so sorry, dude. Man, everybody expressing their condolences for you right now, dude. It just got real, man. Things just got real here on Next Time, man. Don't forget to hit that like button, man. Hit that like button for every TI in the struggle, man. Praise Jesus says, I'm sorry, dude. Angie Pittman says,
Nexx.
Sorry for your loss, dude.
Yeah, much love, man. Appreciate just no matter what happens, just keep spreading this information, keep these recordings, keep spreading it around, just share and like. Would appreciate that. That's my main goal in this. That's why I'm taking a risk. Actually turned around and started exposing all this. Just do the right thing. Just let y'all go ahead and record me saying all this, and go ahead and start doing your own research, pulling this up, get this info that I know.
Wake up your families.
Disseminated to you, so that way you can follow these systems and do these tests to fight back.
That's a fact.
Start waking up your families to this, you guys. You got to start waking them up in a soft, handheld way, because it sucks. And cognitive dissonance runs really deep. You know, the proverbial, ostrich in the sand. People would rather be that way. My father's like that. My dad told me. He said, he's like, if
Cyber.
the nuke bomb.
Cyber, move the camera over.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So my dad's like that, right? My dad and I have had conversations, and he's like, if there is a nuke coming, would you want to know? And he's like, no, I'd just be dead, right? What about your grandchildren? Don't you want to protect them? You know, and I think a lot of these older generations, like my parents, they really kind of think that way. Like, well, I'm not going to be around, so fuck it. And I don't know if that's mind control or if that's just the way they think. My mother seems to be that way, my father, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What about Kaya? What about, you know, what about my kids? What about her kids?
That's
you know, I mean,
fact.
why aren't we thinking about the next generation?
Cyber.
It's like they don't even care, people.
They targeting kids, man. They targeted me growing up all the way through this. They targeting kids, Cyber. You want to talk about that a little bit, man? Or
Well, I've been targeted since birth, I'm pretty sure.
you want to talk about what they did, what they doing to these kids, and what happened to you?
My daughter gets voice to skull. My son's getting seizures. He wrecked his car and almost died last year. Fucked up his shoulder so bad it won't reconnect, and the doctors won't give him surgery. And he's 20. He's young. And, you know, I see them targeting my children. But what people don't get is that when your children are changing or in the bath, those people are pedophiles, and they are looking at our children naked. People need to really think about that.
Yeah, they're seeing their neck bodies on the computer screen as they're operating these systems.
That is some pedophilia shit, man.
I've seen a kid holding up a sign. She said, "I'm not a science experiment."
That's a fact.
A little kid hooked up to all kind of shit in a fucking hospital.
That's where I get really pissed, and I start saying, if you're going to be a pedophile, then you need to die, and your kids, maybe your kids should watch you die, you son of a bitch, for doing it to mine. You understand why I get so angry? Because they are raping children in my eyes, whether they're physically there or they could be mind controlling them to masturbate so they can watch them. Did anybody even think about that? I mean, think about the shit that they have. That's some sick fucking shit.
These people, I can hear them while they're sitting there doing these sexual assaults on people, and including directed gravitic energy towards myself. They're sitting there laughing, and the instructors are sitting there allowing this, and they're teaching other soldiers to run this shit. And they've been sitting there over an entire year receiving taxpayer money, federal funding on armed forces or whatever to do this shit. Trying to keep it quiet.
So we are funding our own demise and our children's pedophilia. Seriously. I want everybody to realize that. If we don't do something about this, we might as well just give our children to them. You know what I'm saying? This is some serious fucking shit. That's why I get angry and I go nuts. Because I see what's coming. You guys may not, but I've seen it.
Man.
I've seen the research about what can happen to this stuff, and I can't talk about it too much, but it is going to get really bad.
I've been on facilities. I've seen first.
They run a simulation, you guys, with this targeting shit, right? It's called the Sentient World Simulation, or SWS. You can Google it. They are running tests to figure out how people will react to certain catastrophes or shootings. And this is why the false flags attacks happened. This is why they're running these things. That's why Jade Helm happened in 2015. This is all just part of the simulation stuff, too, because they're going to see what they can get away with. Because they literally have almost a crystal ball with it, if you can imagine.
Their tags registered to Florida, and one of the agents and stuff, these people rode through, they didn't wear their uniforms. They just rode through, their tags registered to Florida. And they was from multiple branches. It's like some kind of joint task force or something that's been formed. It's a joint exercise. They do joint bases. They drove through. They had Florida tags and all that for most of their vehicles. So they're residents of Florida. There's a base that's probably about 2 hours drive into Georgia. You can reach Florida from a 2 hour drive. They're somewhere around these areas. I haven't identified the exact location, but I've seen the inside of this facility in this classroom.
There's also a Joint Command in Key West, Florida. Look that up.
On their screen, I've seen where they control these UAVs. It look like a bunch of colored dots or something they click and drag around.
Right, man. Big shout out to Amanda. I see you, man. I haven't seen you, but I see you now. Welcome to the podcast, Amanda. We lit. It's on fire right now. Man, we are on fire right now, man. This is the Saturday Night Live edition of NEXXTIME, man. We are on
I know
fire
the
right
Ultra system command prompts, so that way I can voice activate something where I can do shit that they don't know about.
Man, I want to get a question in, man. What do you guys think of, like, it just seems like everything is this a deception, you know? And the more I open my eyes, like, the more disgusted I get, you know, by this illusion of what I thought this place that we know as Earth is our home, right? What do you guys think about these vaccinations? Do you think that
I think it's a total depopulation program. Look at Bill Gates and what he's done to Africa alone.
Do you think that has anything to do with the targeting? Can we correlate any of the vaccinations with the targeting?
No, you can correlate it with autism.
Okay, definitely. Man.
I mean, I have no idea about everything with vaccines. I mean, I know that they increased the schedule. I know they put squalene in there, which is essentially like, what was squalene? It was like, it's like mercury.
Okay.
Right? So that gets into these kids' systems. And think about how many shots these kids are getting on the day they're born.
When you get shots, your medical, like medical facilities and like hospitals release your medical documents to the government after 7 years, so that way they can see what data they've done to you, the results of it. That's valuable data for them. And they force our children to go get these vaccinations. And there's a recent article where a doctor found cancer compounds.
Dude, turn the camera towards you, bro.
Okay.
We can't see you. Okay.
There was an article by a medical profession. They just recently found cancer compounds inside of the vaccines or whatever they call immunization shots. They found cancer compounds in it. I contacted a lot of bioengineers and had a lot of doctors working on this.
Right.
I actually run through an era where I was talking to biologists, engineers, and all this stuff. Sparked a lot of questions they had, and some of them started coming out and talking about it, and some of them started getting killed.
Just not unlike Cone Utopia next.
Turn the camera, Cyber.
It's not unlike Pine Cone Utopia next. I mean, he started really getting the information out there. You know, they can't kill Catherine Stewart because she's former NSA. They couldn't kill Catherine Horton because she's in Sweden or wherever she's at. And I think, no offense to Catherine Horton, when I tried to talk to her about what they were doing, she wanted no part of it.
Wow.
So I'm not exactly sure she understands what's actually going on.
Wow.
And, you know, these are names that have been brought up in the TI community now for years, right?
Yeah.
But I tried to get her to work with me as a physicist because I knew some of these things were physics related, and I thought she could help me. And Pinecone Utopia said she wouldn't talk to me. And then next thing you know, a year later, after I did an interview with him, he ends up dead. That's weird.
Dr. Paul Marco, right? Shout out to him, man. Rest in peace to him,
Dr. Marco,
yeah,
we love
man,
you.
Definitely, man. I used to wait for him his live stream to come on, Cyber.
I used to too.
I used to wait.
I watched all of them when they first started because I was getting into understanding what they were doing to us, you know.
Right.
And he had a lot of great information, but what people don't understand, I don't think that they killed him with directed energy weapons. They gave him a heart attack. Brian too keeps. I'm really wondering about Brian too. He's back in Ecuador. I think that's odd.
Man, I don't know, man. I know he's heavily targeted, man.
Oh fuck yeah, he is. But
I know
the thing
he's heavily targeted.
He's so targeted that you can't talk to him.
Right.
From what I'm hearing.
Right. The fear, the program, as much. And this is the crazy part about it, Cyber. As much as he knows about how this technology works, right, and how to defeat it and stuff, like he stays so focused on it till, you know, I think it kind of makes things worse for him. You know what I mean? Like he just can't think about anything else. You know, like he can't walk down the street, or he can't. You know, all of his videos are just all about, you know, him being targeted, and you know, I understand it because my videos are about that too. But I talk about my life, you know, and I talk about other things, and I do other things, but shout out to him, man. Like, his targeting is on the next level, bro. I don't know, you know, his targeting is next
No, I
level.
hope he's okay. I think he was trying to get asylum in Ecuador. He was having Ecuadorian attorneys or something help him out or whatever.
His targeting is next level, man. And I would love to have him on next time, man. If you are watching, Brian, too, man, we would love to have you on next time, man. And if anybody, you guys are watching, and you guys want to come on the podcast and tell your story or just have the conversation, because that's what a podcast is, guys. It's a conversation, you know. I don't want you guys to think, oh, it's an interview or we're interviewing. It's a conversation. It's a community with beautiful people. We are not just targeting individuals. We are beautiful people. We are some of the best people God's creation. We are some of the best of God's creation has ever made. All of us. We are. You know, and I know a lot of times, you know, going through this program, we hear, oh, you're nothing, you're this and that. You know, we're reminded of our mistakes. We're served a plate of guilt stew, you know, to sip slow every day. We are hearing voices. We are being gang stalked. We are being followed. We're being harassed by the police, right, Cyber?
Yeah.
We are watching our families being destroyed every
are
day.
Destroying families. That's like one of their main goals is to destroy. You know, there's a book by, I think his name is Aldous Huxley, and it's called A Brave New World. And if you've ever read this book, which I have, it literally describes in the future people being born in tubes and being certain class levels, alpha, beta, gammas, and he goes, you know, there's all these classes, and depending on what class you are is what kind of work you get. And then they have all this, like, orgy sex, right? And you're not allowed to procreate because the test tube babies are made. They don't even think they can have children in the book. And that's the book you'll hear quoted a lot.
Yeah.
In time, because, or 1984, which is basically about, you know, the program, the Skynet, what they're doing now to us is 1984. But the thought police and all that is in the book, 1984. And people, if you really want to read, it's dark, man, but it is a good analogy for today. And 1984 was written in the 1930s, I think. Right. So it's like there's books out there about this stuff that, I mean, and the people back then were already predicting it. There's another one called Cybernetics that predicted like the singularity. Then there's a book by Ray Kurzweil, who's the head of AI at Google. And he talks about merging with computers, which is exactly what this program is us merging with computers. Right. It's called The Singularity is Near, and it is an interesting read because what it talks about is Moore's Law, right? Moore's Law is, see what a nerd I am. So Moore's Law is basically exponential growth, right? Which is what's happened with computers. And Moore was actually, I think he was like the CEO of Intel processing chips. Right. And what happened with him was he started seeing this exponential growth. This is how nanotechnology came about. And this is why it's called Moore's Law, because he saw that they were able to make chips smaller and smaller, and it was going on what's called an exponential level, which means if you think about a graph, you know how the line on a graph will sometimes start real low and then it'll all of a sudden curve up real fast? Right. And like you have like a swoop upwards? Right. That is exponential linear algebra, okay? Right. And that's what's going on with technology and human beings because they are able to do this nanotechnology they've gotten from Moore's Law, which all started with Intel processors. Okay. Right? I mean, the theory of it all. Right? They were able to make nanochips to put in our bodies to make the singularity that Ray Kurzweil talks about in the Singularity is Near book. Okay.
They got a human on a chip programs. You can look it up on Google. DARPA's designed this shit. Universities and campuses is all doing different assignments. Some's doing human on chip, organs on a chip, plant surveillance. They're doing all kind of these programs. Everything that DARPA has been mentioning. Yeah. They've been systematically going through it, making me experience the shit. Like when I was training, I was receiving training by expert field operative trainers. What he said, I think he's just tooting his horn too much. You know, saying a little more about himself than really what he is. Right. But it was training that anybody else has ever heard of. They showed me that these little orbs and stuff, like they can turn. They was like green color that was rolling across my ceiling.
Okay.
That they could illuminate, make it visible.
Okay.
And then make it disappear again. I think it's quantum physics, some kind of directed energy, something that passes through all objects.
Okay.
And these things are hanging from the trees as well. And they mentioned the plant surveillance technology that was being designed by DARPA, and it seemed like all this fit together. And it was what they was theating and throwing on me. And I went through DARPA's list, looking at all their programs, and I got a hit on about over like 7 to 10 different programs they run on me from the technology. So I started looking into the project managers and all this stuff, and it gave me a list of universities and places that's involved in designing all this, and then they take it behind military closed doors and test it.
Man, oh man, oh man. Man, Cyber, you said something about Catherine Horton, man. The Badger Report, big shout out to him, man. That's my guy. You guys gonna be seeing a lot more of him. He had a comment. He said, when I commented on Dr. Horton's channel, she responded with a video saying we needed to forget Jesus Christ. Haven't seen her videos since. Did you see that, Cyber?
No, but this is exactly what I'm talking about with her.
That is crazy.
She is so voice to skull. I guarantee you, she thinks they're her own thoughts.
But you know what, Badger? I'm gonna tell you something, Badger. Like, you know, when you see stuff like that, man, right? And I know the Badger Report, man. This guy is a man of God. He is a soldier in Christ. You know, when you see stuff like that, man, I just want to encourage you, bro, to not turn your back on her and not just dismiss her and not go to her videos, but to go to her videos, keep going to her videos, bro, and remind her that, yo, Jesus Christ died for you and me, and Jesus Christ died for our sins, and he loves you, and he is the only way, bro. You keep going to her videos and just keep letting her know, and with love, bro. Like, let's not turn our back on, you know, those type of people who spew out that blasphemy. You know, we are called to minister to them. You know what I mean? And I'm not a pastor, you know, like, you don't see me throwing Bible verses out every chance I get. But at the same time, we should not turn our backs on those people. Those are lost souls. Those are people that's overran and taken by the demon spirits who we have authority over. You know, so shout out to you, man. Shout out to the Badger. That's my guy, man. And if you guys ever see anybody out there saying things that we don't need Jesus and this and that, I just want to encourage y'all to do not just turn a blind eye and walk away, man. Keep going at them. Keep going at them. Keep going at them and let them know what's really good. What's going on, Simon?
People need to remember too that Christ is gonna return, and do you think that God is gonna allow his people to suffer like this for much longer? People need to think about that. He's not gonna let his people suffer. Just remember that, guys.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Like, she need Jesus more than we all do if she's saying things like that, man. And I never knew that. Like, I'm actually a moderator on the Techno Crime Fighters Forum, and that's actually Romola D's channel. And big shout out to Romola, man. I love her. And you know, I never knew that Catherine Horton was saying blasphemous stuff like that. That is crazy, man. But man, we need to be that light to shine in that darkness, man. We definitely need to be the light to shine in that darkness. And we need to be there to support each other and to help each other out. When we see somebody in a time of need, when we see somebody on the streets who need our help, guys, we need to come together and help. We need to help each other in that time of need. And right now, Duhouse and Cyber Reconnaissance is in a time of need. And there is a GoFundMe link in the description right now, guys. In the description right now. If you can do anything to help, guys, click that link, man, and do what you can. You know, and if you don't got it, because I know a lot of TIs that's hurting for money right now, copy the link and paste it somewhere where somebody can help. You can at least do that. You can at least do that for fellow TIs that's in the struggle, that's going through it.
I only have like $5. We'll give you half of what I got, okay?
You can do that.
I gotta eat food, bro.
You can do that, man. This is next time, man. We heating up, man. This is next time, man. This is the Saturday Night Live edition, right, Cyber?
Yes, we're, Nexx, I'm so sorry. I hate to do this, but we've got to drive like 30, 40 minutes in the mountains to go to sleep.
Okay. And, we're going to wrap it up? Want to wrap things up?
We got to wrap it up.
Okay, we're exhausted. Okay, we're going to wrap things up, man. We're going to wrap things up, man. I want to thank you guys, man. Dude, man. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to you, man.
Much love, and for all our listeners out there, much love and appreciate you and everything. And I very much appreciate you getting on here and interacting and making beautiful things happen in the connection here, man. We're getting to talk back and forth, answer your questions, and answer them. And then, I think that's only going to bring beautiful things. It's good to connect with people and not feel so cut off from talking to people that don't understand it and hasn't experienced anything like that.
Okay.
It's a very healthy thing. We need to have a good, healthy social life, and so we're socializing right now and getting on here and being healthy and stuff. And there's some things you need to do to counter it because they try to isolate you, try to disrupt you and all that stuff.
Right.
Kind of mind over matter. It's hard to do it. I'm being hit with directed energy as we're doing these podcasts and everything else everywhere I go. But still, I try to separate that out of my mind and continue to live a healthy, functioning life.
Right.
I go to parks and everything else. Usually when it's been a full day or something, or something starts bothering me, I just take a sleep or sleep it off and then wake up and then reboot and start my day. Whether it makes you emotionally compromised instead of flipping out,
right,
cussing something, being ill to somebody that don't deserve it. You're just dealing with the factors of being hit. You just go to sleep or something like that. You have build a little step system with it. They want to disrupt and make you jump around and all that stuff. Most people can't really sustain income or something, just jump around trying to test things out. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to fly to a restricted no-fly zone and see if they get brave enough to fly within it.
Okay.
I got the FAA reports where they mark these places.
Okay.
So I can fly out there or whatever and just walk around in this area, and if they fly there, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call the National Guard and tell them to go check that out.
Okay.
And point it out to them, and they'll make them get out of the airspace.
Okay. Definitely, man. Definitely, man. And guys, if you guys want to connect with Dude Haas, his email and YouTube channel is in the description right now. Cyber, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
No, you guys just stay strong and know that they will fall. Bob Marley said it best when he said, it's a small axe for the big tree. You know what I'm saying?
It's an active but few is not to reflect all.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And on the line, we got somebody special. We got somebody special on the line right now to help close this thing out. What is going on, caller?
Hey guys, it's Praise here. Let's close with a prayer.
Let's do
Sounds
it.
like we can all use it, hey?
Great.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, we're diving in. So, here we go. Father God, your word says that whosoever sins we remit will be remitted. Please forgive my sins and the sins of all of us in this community, world, and our ancestors back to Adam and Eve. In Jesus' name, we are very sorry for them. Please remit the sins of every evil sacrifice and ritual done to gain power from Satan and the spirit world. I loose angels to clean every satanic witchcraft mark, trap, and portal in and around my environment and the location of all of us listening to this stream. Cover them in the blood of Jesus in Jesus' name. I loose angels to cut every line of communication in the evil spirit realm, to block all lines of reinforcement and the traveling routes of every enemy here, covering them with the strong hedge of a wall of fire and the blood of Jesus. I pray that everyone here will be filled with the Holy Spirit and the fruits of the Spirit, and that every creature and entity will be sealed from being used as an access point to the enemy. Please put the whole armor of God on them and cover them in the blood of Jesus. I loose angels to cut every ungodly silver cord of all astral projecting spirits at work here. I loose angels to block them from ever returning to their hosts. Thank you for giving us the keys to the kingdom. Your word says that what we bind on earth is bound in heaven, and what we loose on earth is loosed in heaven. In Jesus' name, I loose sufficient angels to rapidly and continuously blow up all walls of protection around every evil entity, witch, warlock, Satanist, occultist, human and spirit, responsible for sending and shielding the planes and spray, including the strongmen, and bind them. I break the power of every ritual, spell, hex, vex, curse, hoodoo, voodoo, incantation, chant, psychic prayer, witchcraft, and demonic attack being sent to us and anyone in this community and the world by the power of the blood of Jesus Christ, and return them to the senders 7 times 70-fold, and bind it to them with the blood of Jesus. I loose your angels to attack and destroy every evil altar, pot, and cauldron, and wipe out anything programmed into the sun, moon, stars, earth, under the earth, and in the sea. May every evil thing done by the enemy using air, water, fire, and earth be nullified now. Father, your word says that you restore our souls. I loose angels to go out and cut every ungodly soul tie that has been formed openly and in secret to control and manipulate the people of this world, especially the leaders. I loose your angels to go out and restore the mind, will, and emotions of everyone in this community that has been fragmented by sin and witchcraft, and return the fragments that they should not have. I loose angels to fragment every demonic spirit at work so they cannot continue their attack. I loose sufficient amounts of angels to attack every evil entity and spirit at work here in the sky and in and around the sun and in and around our environment. I loose spirits of judgment, burning, destruction, blindness, deafness, dumbness, confusion, and civil war on them. Loose your sperm whales to attack all spirits of witchcraft, witchcraft control, and mind control. Lord, in faith, I loose the appropriate heavenly creatures that are suited to rout and destroy the enemy here and now. The Lord Jesus Christ rebuke you. In the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I pray, amen.
Amen, 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 amen. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
We'll have a really good sleep and a good rest, or whatever time of day it is for you. I hope that it all goes well, and we will see you all soon.
All right, praise Jesus. That was praise Jesus, man. She is awesome. We love you, praise.
Thanks you.
Thank you.
Right back at you. We hope you have a great time and everything.
Awesome.
And then,
Cyber.
Yeah.
We must protect cyber reconnaissance at all costs, guys. We must protect cyber reconnaissance at all costs. Do you have anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here, Cyber?
No, but if you have questions, get them coming to us. If there's anything we can do to help you present it to your local representative, whatever we can do to help facilitate moving this forward, this movement, to get this electronic harassment dealt with, we'll be happy to help you, and we will be happy to come back and do further podcasts and elaborate further on further technology.
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely going to be back. You guys are going to be back, and you're going to be better. And guys, we ask you again, if you can help Cyber out right now. She is homeless. She is on her way to drive into the woods so they can sleep in the car, guys, with a little to next to no money. If you guys can donate $5, $10, whatever it is, and if you don't have it, can you just copy the link and paste it somewhere where somebody can, and just do what you can to help another fellow TI. The link is in the description right now, the GoFundMe page. Also, her Twitter, right? Your Skype.
Yes.
If you guys want to get in touch with her, her email, everything is in the description, guys. Targeted Individual Day is August 29th, 2018. Bring awareness. We got shirts, guys. That is in the link as well. Everything is in the description. If you guys want to be on next time, holler at me. My contact info is in the description. You can hit me on Hangouts. You can give me a call. You can hit me on Skype. Whatever it is, man, I'm always available. This has been an amazing edition. It started off a little rocky, but it's finished great. Man.
You put in the can you edit the description to say when we actually came online so people
that's what that's what I do. That's what I do.
Oh, I didn't even. Sorry.
Every replay on the podcast, guys, go to the description. You will see when the podcast begins, because we had a bumpy start, connection issues. They didn't want this to happen. They didn't want Duhas the Great to give you guys his truth. They didn't want Cyber Reconnaissance to give you her truth, but they did. Okay, we got through it. God got us through it, man. And if you guys can help in any way, please remember that her GoFundMe is in the description. We definitely appreciate it. I would appreciate it. I know she would definitely appreciate it. She's out here. She doesn't have anything, guys. She doesn't have anybody but us. So can we step up to the plate and make this happen? Man, don't wait for next. Don't wait, guys. Do it right now. And if you can't, like I said, copy the link and paste it somewhere, please. Do that for a fellow TI in need. Okay? This is your boy NEXX, man. Next level. This has been Next Time, the Saturday Night Live edition. We love you guys. Thank you, man. Cyber, thank you.
You're welcome.
We got to do it again. We got to do it again. We definitely got to do it again. All right. I know you guys got to get out of here. I don't know what everybody's doing, but my heart is with you. God is with you, man. We love you guys. We're going to see you on the next time. If you guys want to be on the show, get a hold of me, man. I love you guys, man. Peace.
Surround sound recordings.
Bye. Love you.